Hi, this is Tom Kane, the voice of Jedi Master Yoda. And this is Inside the Force. Listen, you will. Foreseen it I have, yes.
It is a period of Star Wars mania. As new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
Hey everybody, Dave Cottingham here with Casey Cooley.
Hello everybody.
Thanks for joining us here on Inside the Force. We're doing a little something special for you listeners out there. We're going to be in, I guess, celebration of the upcoming Episode 7 release.
There's so much excitement built in. We had to find other ways to express ourselves.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do is we're going to revisit the Star Wars saga.
Yes.
The movies.
The movies. Motion pictures.
1 through 6, we are going to watch each one of them and do an audio commentary. And of course, if you're watching it on YouTube, we got video of it as well. But mainly, if you're listening to us, you can follow along by obviously just turning on the movie.
Yeah.
Put us on. We'll tell you exactly when we're going to start the movie.
Yeah.
But we are going from the Blu-rays,
Right.
the saga that came out, I think, in 2013.
Yep. Yeah,
Star Wars Saga Blu-rays.
DVDs, yeah.
So we're watching those. If you're watching on YouTube, here's the Darth Maul Disney figure, little Darth Maul.
Because Darth Maul's out here because we're starting with episode 1.
We are starting with episode 1. So we're going chronological order.
Deal with it, people.
Deal with it.
Just
okay.
Deal with it.
So we're just gonna talk and we're gonna try to stay focused on the movie and not kind of go off the subject, but really kind of talk about what we like, dislike, love about this movie, and bust our way through the 6 movies, and we'll release these up until the premiere of episode 7.
It's less than 2 months. This is
oh my gosh, yeah.
So
I did the 57 days yesterday. Wow, man,
that's crazy.
All right, so here we go. We are going to start the movie. You guys listening on the audio podcast, we're starting right at 0, the 20th Century Fox logos.
Right.
So cue it up. I'll give you 2 seconds. 1, 2, here we go. And we're going.
Play. 1 second, 2 seconds,
3 seconds, 4 seconds.
It's on.
Century Fox is going. So, all right. So,
first, we're not going to see that anymore.
We're not.
Yeah.
It's going to be just that.
Yeah.
Will we see a Disney logo, you think?
No, I think we'll see a Bad Robot logo.
Yes, we'll definitely see Bad Robot. Actually, I think you're right.
I don't think we'll see Disney because, like with Marvel, we don't see Disney with Marvel movies, right?
I don't think we do actually. Yeah, you're right.
It's so nice of them.
You're right
to not want to overpollute.
Now, I remember in '99. Now, the thing about it is, did you see this in the theater?
Yes, I did.
You did see episode 1
twice
in theater.
You
were.
I was 8.
You were 8. Yeah,
I saw it twice.
So I was in college.
Yeah,
and I was camping out for this thing, and I was so far back in line. Not we camped out. I camped out like 2 nights before we saw episode 1, and unfortunately, I saw it at midnight, and unfortunately, we were kind of so far in, and they split us up into several theaters.
Yeah,
I was in the very first row.
That's awesome.
No, it wasn't really.
Oh, I mean, it's like the very, very bottom. So
yes. So I had to read if you're watching that video, I had to read the crawl like this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Like I had to turn my head.
It's great.
Reading this crawl, but this is such a staple in Star Wars.
So you were first in line.
No. We were kind of we were like way back, kind of. I mean, people were lining up for this thing all week.
How were midnight showings that big back in the 90s?
That's all they were with midnight showings because they weren't. They weren't late. This is late 90s.
Yeah.
It's really honestly around the time that it started. You know what really kicked off the midnight movies?
What's that?
The Blair Witch Project.
Really?
They had a huge midnight. I think at the time it took over the midnight showing record.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of started becoming a staple.
Yeah.
And but I mean, I think they were doing it. I just didn't think it was really popular until then. But no, Star Wars was episode 1 was a huge midnight showing.
Yeah. I just seeing this. I mean, talking about how when we first saw it. Like I was very well aware of Star Wars before all this. I'd seen all the movies, but even before I knew of them before the special editions came out. I remember seeing this in the theater at the old Lexington Green movie theater that's now gone. It was like a smaller theater on the side, and they had like a magician there before the show, going up and down, like doing stuff. They had a guy dressed up as Chewbacca, as a stormtrooper. It was really cool, but it's just like seeing this. I don't know. Even as an 8-year-old, like I felt the impact of Star Wars. It's incredible.
But also, for me, it was seeing that first approach, and you get into even this shot here.
Yeah.
You had 2 Jedis, but you can just already tell that you're gonna see something different than the original trilogy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I think so many people were convinced they were gonna see the original trilogy again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why a lot of people I think were put off by the prequels.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, it just ruined my childhood. We talk about that a lot on here.
Yeah.
But, I think just by looking at it, the technology is so much better, of making movies. And he didn't even want to, George, that is, didn't even want to do this movie until he saw Jurassic Park. So you just knew that, and I hate to break it to people, but unfortunately, the original trilogy would look like this if the technology was there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, he invented those computers to make. He wanted it to be groundbreaking like that.
But right away, you get the sense of, I think in growing up and watching the originals, you just never saw 2 Jedis together.
Right. Yeah. I think already you felt like it's just bigger. It
is.
The Jedi Order, like all this new stuff, we're getting like, wow, like because you always wanted to see more than one Jedi. You always wanted to see Jedi fights or lightsaber battles, and like we're getting that and more.
And to be honest, walking through the door, at that time. You get some big name actors right there walking in.
I didn't know Ewan McGregor, although he was relatively known at the time. I didn't know him, but I knew I was aware of Liam Neeson.
He obviously he was Schindler's List for Spielberg back in the early 90s.
Yeah. I do want to say really quick that when TC-14 was giving them the drinks, every time I see this, it bothers me that they don't say thank you to TC-14. They never say thank you.
Do droids ever get thanked?
I don't know, but like that bothered me.
I don't think they do.
I guess it's fine for the culture of this.
Now, this was very interesting when we first saw this hologram because
it's clear, I guess.
Well, not just that. I'm just saying, like, there was no real. I mean, you saw that figure in the trailer, but when
the Darth Sidious figure,
that's the first time you hear Darth Sidious.
Yeah,
or Sidious. So you're like, whoa,
Lord
who
Sidious.
is this guy?
Yeah,
and because in the original trilogy, he's the Emperor. That is never referred to as Sidious. So there's people that I went to the movie with that weren't convinced that was the Emperor.
Really?
They were like, "Oh, this is a whole other guy. This is a different guy."
And
I was like, "Well, I don't think so. I think that's Palpatine."
Yeah,
But I think for people, think about it though. For people that like we said sometimes, like if you've never seen the movies, if you just started watching this, I mean, you wouldn't know you don't know who that is, at all.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised. Like, I always knew that was Palpatine. Like that, I don't know how I knew the name Palpatine. I guess because I had the toy Emperor Palpatine.
Emperor.
So
Palpatine.
like, I just knew like that's Palpatine, and he's gonna become the Emperor. So I don't like. It's cool that just by the power of the toys, you know characters' names. You know all about the stuff.
That first time we see some lightsaber action.
Yeah, it's like
in this movie, so cool. And you never see that's the thing too is the way they're moving.
Yeah,
You're like, what? Jedis move like that?
Yeah, like a baseball bat, just swinging that.
All
the flourishes.
Twisting around. You had to stab him. I mean, the guy, his head was off.
And he's done.
But the fact that all we saw was Luke, really. At this point, all we had was Luke.
Yeah.
And, Luke was a very straight, like fencing, style. Mm-hmm. That's how they kind of fought in the original trilogy, where here it's like, I don't even know what they call this stuff. That's the way they're wielding this stuff.
Yeah.
That
was
awesome.
cool. That was like that moment there was always like the first like really cool moment where he's like, "This is not possible." Then like the music gets louder. It's like, well, it's impossible, but not for a Jedi. Like, I've always admired that.
Like you can use a lightsaber to melt a door.
Yeah, I thought that was the coolest. It's just like watching this, I was like, finally, we're seeing like some power
Yes.
And this was always it came out of the blue. What? The super speed? Like,
yes.
What's going on? They're superpowers. But
it actually is super speed.
Yeah, that's like incredible.
Yeah. And then you see him kind of ducking in the ventilation shaft there.
Yeah. Shin splints.
Yeah. But this part, right there, just the vastness of everything. Is this a scope? Like you said, the scope of everything is just so big. Mm-hmm. And then of course Obi-Wan trying to be a comedian here.
Yeah.
He's like, the negotiations were short.
You little son.
Like,
yeah. My face. There's no time.
Ewan McGregor. I'm a huge fan of Ewan McGregor.
Yes.
Yeah. So we get our first look at the Queen Amidala here. Now,
Queen Amidala herself.
Now, obviously, again, we've never, from the original trilogy, we never knew her name.
Right.
The mother.
Yeah.
Right away, you're kind of assuming that's obviously going to be the mother.
Yeah.
And
it was known. Like, I remember it was well known at the time, right? Because I always thought I knew as well.
That she was going to be the mother. Oh, yeah.
Like, it was always revealed as
well,
such.
just because, she was on... But, they try in this movie to hide it because of the handmaiden. Is it the handmaiden that's actually... No, she's actually impersonating the queen, blah, blah, blah. But what's crazy is... And we'll get to it later on, but there's some famous actors that play the handmaidens.
Oh, yeah, Keira Knightley and Rose Byrne.
Rose Byrne, right? Yes, that's
I mean, this is 99. This is a little before Pirates of the Caribbean, a couple of years, right?
Oh yeah,
2-3 years before.
Yeah,
so
well, this is filmed in '97.
Oh, true.
So it was several years before because Portman's only truly, I think she's 14 years old, 14 or 15 years old when she's doing this movie.
Yeah, she's pretty young. She was like,
because she was just off The Professional. The Professional was like 3 or 4 years before this, which I think she was 11 when she did The Professional.
Right, around that.
I think she was 14, 15 when she filmed this. And then, of course, Jake Lloyd is, I think, 9, 10.
Yeah, he's
real young.
10, yeah.
But Portman is just...
She's great.
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, this is...
this guy.
You just talk about cast in this movie. It's just unbelievable.
Panica there looks bored to death.
Yeah.
I feel like he's just...
Yeah, unfortunately, he's
mad to be there.
Yeah, he was. But we did get our first glimpse of Palpatine.
Yeah.
Who you, if you knew is going to be the Emperor.
Yes.
Whether or not you know that's Sidious or not, I guess it's still in debate if you don't know Star Wars that well. But
talk about echoes. We talked about on the show a couple times. Echo shots. Like this is to me an echo shot of like the X-wings landing or whatever. Yavin 4 through the trees. Like I don't know. Some people like that idea that he repeated his shots or repeated some story elements, but some people hate it. Some people like it. I love it. I think it's just good stuff. These guys walking right in front of that thing, they're going to get trampled. What are you doing? It's tearing down trees.
And I did notice when I was first watching this movie too, back in '99, that already we're seeing already a ton of holograms. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Sidious, and then even
Palpatine, and those guys.
What's his name? Viceroy Gunray. Newt Gunray. Even when he just was talking to the droids that destroy what's left of them outside of the door, it's like he shows up in a hologram.
Yeah.
Instead of just like talking to him in his ear. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
But
here we go.
Yeah. Well, so what was as an 8-year-old? What was your initial thought of Jar Jar?
No. I thought it was silly. It was humorous. I wasn't in love with Jar Jar, nor did I thought he was like an abomination of hell, like everybody else.
An abomination of hell.
Like I just thought, I was like, it's fine. Yeah, I'm fine with him. He's funny at times. He's humorous. I don't know if I was like on the cusp. I was like as 8 years old. Like I don't know if I was like on the cusp of like not buying it and then like hating it, but I was fine with him. I just was trying to pay attention, trying to understand what he was saying because. The way he was speaking, his dialect was so different.
I don't remember. I mean, call me nuts, but I just don't remember having a problem with him. You know what I mean? Like I was just so freaking beside myself that I was actually watching a Star Wars movie again. You know what I mean?
Else realize what we're doing right now. We're sitting in a theater.
I mean, this is 18 years.
Yeah.
After, 16 years after Return of the Jedi came out. Mm-hmm. I mean, no one ever thought we'd. I mean, I know everybody thought, okay, it's 4, 5, and 6. Are we really going to get 1, 2, and 3 ever? But I mean, some people didn't make it to 99 to be able to watch a Star Wars movie again. And I mean, we're beside ourselves now that we're getting ready to go see Episode 7. So
I always thought like maybe eventually we get Star Wars movies like when I'm in my 40s or whatever. Someone just decides to make more, but never.
No.
10 years.
And now we're going to get them the rest of our lives.
Yeah, every single year forever.
But watching this, I was just never. Now going, obviously now this day and age, it's like years after watching this, it's like okay, maybe he's a little over the top, and maybe, but there's a reason. There's a big reason why these movies are made for the kids. Yeah,
I think that's always. Some people don't buy that argument that it's for the kids. It's like for the new generation, whatever. But that's what he says.
It's absolutely
what it is. I mean. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
My daughter likes Jar Jar.
Yeah.
So right there tells you that it's working. He worked for the kids.
He knows what he's doing.
And this movie made a ton of money.
Yeah.
It's not like people hated it enough to not go see it. It broke. I mean, I think it was top 5 all time at one point.
For a while, yeah.
So Jar Jar, yes, he could be, and it's honestly, it's just this movie, I mean, you can tolerate him the next couple of movies, so.
This whole
Well, I thought this whole thing is gorgeous, though.
Yeah, this blew me away, when I first saw it.
Yeah.
I never saw anything like that before.
Now, the way that works, if you read the encyclopedia, is that when they walk through it, it's like a squeegee.
Oh, it's like it's the water?
It sucks all the water out. That's why they're dry.
Yeah.
Standing there now. Because I was always wondering, like, wait a minute, look at his hair. How's his hair all dry?
Yeah.
But it works as like to say like one of those wow towels, whatever.
Wow, ShamWows.
ShamWows.
Yeah.
It just kind of squeezes the water out of them, out of their clothes. I think they're a little wet still in the hair, a little bit. But their clothes are apparently dry.
Yeah, that long hair, man, takes a while to dry.
Yeah, see that? See, he's got a little wet, but his clothes are like dry.
Pretty much, yeah.
But
I thought it was funny. He said doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
Like he said doo-doo.
But it is, a lot of knock with this thing was all the digital effects and everything. But
yeah, it's still so new. Like you can kind of catch the actor's eyes not looking in the right place at times. So,
but see, there's practical there. That like a lot of that stuff is practical that they're sitting on there.
Yeah.
But Boss Nass being fully digital.
Yeah. But when I was a kid, I wasn't aware yet of what.
No.
I couldn't distinguish it at that time.
No. And it's not noticeable, really. I mean,
I think the battle droids still look pretty good.
Yeah.
Like at times, I think it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, because there's times when they are practical.
Yeah.
And it is hard to decipher unless you see the movement of them. It's hard to decipher.
Right.
But like there was a lot of people knocking how they didn't use costumes. Mm-hmm. And like put him in a costume. But I mean, you can't achieve. Especially in '99, you couldn't achieve the way he's speaking. Yeah, with a costume or with a mask.
True. The articulation,
correct?
Like the Gunrys or new Gunry, those guys, the Nemodians, like their mouths,
Right. See, that's what you would get.
You can still tell.
That's what you would get.
Yeah, and even before the Blu-rays.
Look at the movement of him. You just can't do that unless it's digital.
And like Yoda before the Blu-rays was a puppet.
Right.
And so you still had that kind of.
And see, that's actually a big question. Is like. Because this was on the cusp of digital characters and this is '99, so there's Jurassic Park was '94. You had like Titanic.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of
TX
big,
or T2. I mean
T2.
Yeah.
You had big special effect movies, but digital characters. This was one of the first movies that had a lot of digital characters interacting with live action.
A lot of them.
So it makes you wonder sometimes, like. Well, what if he waited till maybe 2005
to make the prequels?
Yeah, where a lot of these superhero movies started, and there was a lot of digital characters, and digital, like even Spider-Man, it was a digital character at some point when he's flying around, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if people would less hate them. You know what I mean? Like if they were used to it by then.
Well, you gotta think that would those movies have been made if not for episode 1 here in episode 2?
Well, that's true too. Yeah.
Like, did this start? I think this started that.
Yeah.
You think?
Jurassic Park, I think.
Oh,
started
yeah. But, George was like, "Hey, let's do more," and then other movies.
But the level of effects,
Yeah.
yes, no one.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember there's a documentary you can watch I think just off that Blu-ray.
Yeah.
With episode 1 where you remember that shot where he's in the storyboard room and he's writing. There's like white storyboards of all the shots, and he colors what's practical, and he takes a different color what's digital,
Yeah.
and he's just coloring all this digital stuff. And you can see there's cuts to everybody like going,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, and like we're talking like 3,000 effect shots,
Yeah.
or something like that. So it's never, and I think one of them said something like, this has got like over 3,000 effect shots, whereas like Titanic had like 400.
Yeah.
It's
gosh.
like what?
Well, I remember seeing documentaries about Jurassic Park, like how they were toying with stop motion or digital. And I still think even some parts of Jurassic Park still look pretty good.
Well, Spielberg did a good job of mixing.
He did,
like with the T-Rex head,
yes,
and his foot, stuff like that. But obviously movement, you can't get that movement unless it was digital.
Yeah. This
but
freaks me out.
That's incredible.
Like, what the heck? Why is nothing ruling the world right now, or the oceans?
Yeah, I mean,
to destroying the Gungan city.
Like that shot is awesome right there. I love that shot.
That looks pretty good. All the muscles you see in there, it looks pretty good.
It's a great shot.
Yeah, just some of the biggest comments I always hear about episode 1 is that it's lack of like a real story. I don't know if you've heard a lot about that. Like all this stuff, like really like the biggest, the most important part of the movie is the Duel of the Fates fight at the end, and like all this stuff can just be like washed out.
Well, this is something, and to me, it really, to be honest, it really appeals to me.
Yeah,
but it's a very political movie.
It is. Yeah, all of them are.
I mean, this whole trilogy, especially this first trilogy. The second trilogy, I agree, it's political as well, which is the original trilogy. But the way you get rid of it in the original trilogy is Palpatine dismisses the Senate, right?
Yeah.
So here, which I think is brilliant because we've never seen the Senate.
Yeah.
And we're getting a glimpse of how everything works.
I mean, that was a lot of exposition they just said in that one line, like that I never even caught until maybe even after seeing the prequels, like him saying like the Emperor has dismissed the Senate, the governors rule now by fear.
Right.
Whatever. So I was like, that's a lot of information.
That is a lot of
just
information.
Say in one line, like this is just unpacked.
And you don't know the scope of it.
Yeah.
By just watching episode 4.
Yeah.
You just don't know the scope of what that means.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's thousands of systems in the galaxy, and all of a sudden there's no representation.
Yeah.
And it's just the Empire that rules them now. So in this, that's what you have to do. He's showing what the time was like before it went to hell.
Heavy political, yeah.
And it was all politically motivated.
Yeah.
It was a young guy that worked his way up and found a way to con his way into being the president of the galaxy, basically.
House of Cards, basically. That's
absolutely
crazy. It's crazy, yeah.
And then once he's there, he manipulates it in a way to make him all powerful, and everybody votes him that way. That's the crazy thing, right? And we'll get to it when we get to episode 3 when when he declares himself emperor and everybody votes him to be. It's not like he took over. Everybody wanted him to be emperor. So it's like, what? So it's a big and it starts here. It starts 13 years before he actually gets it.
Well, I'll be honest though, like as a kid, I didn't really understand the political side of it. Like,
No.
I understood like invasion, getting rid of the guys that were invading the planet, all that's pretty basic. But like all the politics behind like the Trade Federation blockades, the tax, all that kind of stuff. I was
and I didn't understand that side of the original trilogy. You know, like the whole Senate side when he's talking about dismissing the Senate. Like I didn't really get that until the 90s. Yeah. During the 80s and when I watched it, growing up, it was all about just the lightsabers and Darth Vader.
It's just cool stuff, man.
But you don't understand the motivations with the way the government is at that time, the way the people are suffering at that time. You don't really see all that And the original trilogy just is so focused on a small part of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Versus this.
So right now that's Keira Knightley, right?
That is Keira Knightley.
Yeah,
there's Padme.
Yep.
Yeah, they made the switch.
I don't know how long it takes them to do
Gorgeous
that.
city of Naboo here.
Yeah.
You know, obviously we've never heard of it until this movie, and very. I mean, what do you call it? Very?
It's like an ancient
Greece,
yeah, like
you know, or
very
Rome
classical,
or something, or
yeah, very classical kind of,
very classical,
high
yeah.
society kind of.
Now, you know, one thing I did, I don't know if you did, probably you might have been too young to think about this, but I remember when I first watched this movie, I'd be like, "That's from the trailer."
Oh,
because I remember shots from the trailer because I watched it so many times.
I did that.
This part here, this part here with Obi-Wan twirling his lightsaber was in the trailer.
I did that with other movies.
Yeah,
I remember the Duel of Fates from the trailer. That's about it. Like the Darth Maul thing, you know.
Right there, that shot's from the trailer.
Yeah, just flips the screen.
Yeah.
What are you doing there?
Yeah, it's showboating.
Yeah, I always thought it was cool when like Qui-Gon like puts it back like a sword.
Yes,
kind of throws it back in his sheath thing.
Yeah,
it's pretty good stuff. This guy, his name, I think it's like
C.O. Bibble. Yeah,
he's so negative.
He is so negative.
You contact me.
Even in the next movie, he's very negative. Yeah, he's like, oh, gosh, why you keep getting voted in?
Yeah, who are your constituents that vote you in? And here's coming probably one of the most awkward exchanges and dialogue with Qui-Gon and the battle droid coming up.
Oh, yeah.
So this part here, when she's asking her, what do we do? And then
we are brave, Your Highness?
Yeah. Now, she's basically...
telling her,
we will follow you.
I think so.
Because she kind of then like Keira Knightley there kind of like thinks for a second.
Now, do they know? They don't know. Do they?
I don't believe. I want to say Captain Panica might know, but like I don't think anybody else knows. So she kind of like sit there and thinks about it. So I think she's like,
he's basically telling her, "Let's do it. Let's do it."
She should have given her a look like, "Do it."
But I tell you what, it's pretty amazing how closely Keira Knightley looks to Natalie Portman.
I never caught it.
I didn't catch it either.
I never caught it.
Well, you know, I caught it a little bit. At some point, I thought that they were putting Padme or Portman in both scenes.
Okay. Oh,
you know what I mean? They just split screened her. Mm-hmm. Like at first, I thought, oh, she's got like a girl who looks exactly like her.
Yeah,
whose name is Padme.
I just never caught on to it. I guess my mind wasn't as developed
because she looks like her. I mean, it looks like her.
Here it is. Like what is there? What's the history behind that? Did he really just not understand the battle droid, or did they?
I don't know. They're dumb.
They're just.
They're just.
He
dumb.
pushed one. That guy was getting too close.
Now I don't know about you, but I was so stoked, and it still takes a little while. But I could not wait to see Coruscant.
So but I never heard of it until I saw the film. Then I was like, yeah, wow, that's a whole.
Well, you remember we got a glimpse of it in the Return of the Jedi special editions.
Oh yeah,
because they put the city in there at the end, and it was an expanded universe city.
Yeah.
So, and you always knew in the expanded universe there was a city-sized planet.
Yeah, but see, I didn't hear it I didn't really understand it until this, and you hear Rick Olay say the entire planet's one big city. Then I was like, wow, that's incredible.
But in the original Return of the Jedi script, it was supposed to be the Death Star scene of Luke, and that happened on Coruscant.
The Return of the Jedi?
Return of the Jedi.
Well, wasn't like Emperor's Lair like a lava?
Yes, it was underground.
Yeah.
It was kind of in the bottom part of the city, of the world. But of course he couldn't do it. He couldn't make it at that time. So yeah, there's R2, our first glimpse of R2.
Yeah. These guys are getting smoked.
And I love the shot coming up where he looks at the camera basically.
Who does?
R2.
Yeah.
Like there. Yeah. Like, hey, what do you think of that? It's me. It's like
wink. It turns blue. That's a wink.
Yeah, totally. Like, wait a minute, it's me. Yeah. Like, he's even doing it again. Like, come on.
Even more so.
Did you realize it's me yet?
Yeah. Just wait. You know what I'm gonna do. That's pretty cool.
I remember that shot's from the trailer.
Yeah.
So.
I did that with like. I can remember doing that with this one, but like other movies like Titanic, other films like that, I remember seeing like trailers like on HBO and being like, now when I see the movie, like that was in the trailer for HBO.
I did not I still to this day probably haven't watched a trailer as much as I watched the episode 1's trailer.
Really?
I mean, I just dissected it like you wouldn't believe.
The episode 3 trailer was probably like that for me. I watched that
Yeah.
constantly. That was so...
And back then, and I think we mentioned this on our previous podcast, but back then, all we got was one teaser and then one trailer. So we never got like what we're getting now is a couple teasers and a behind the scenes look. There were a lot of behind the scenes look because they had the Hyperspace Club.
Back then they did?
Yeah. I was part of Hyperspace, so I was getting set videos and stuff like that from some of the prop makers and sound guys and stuff like that. They would just talk to, and you get a glimpse of kind of somewhat of the production. But you got the teaser, which I remember the first teaser of this was incredible. There's the first shot of Darth Maul.
I pooped my pants. I saw that. Come just walk in.
Whoa.
Yeah. Who are you?
And it's weird how his voice kind of like, like he will find your lost.
Yeah. It's like, who's this guy?
Like what?
What? I don't think I want him.
We should not have made this bargain. You know, like
this guy.
Yeah, probably not. So I was upset. Not upset. I was a little upset that they had to like detour and not go to Coruscant yet. I'm like, dang it.
Yeah.
But
I was like, hey, of
course, we had to go to Tatooine.
Tatooine's cool. We know that.
R2-D2.
Where's it written? Like,
I was about to say.
Like, he just looked at it. He didn't look at anything.
I guess his number's right there or something.
Does it appear on that little screen on his head?
I don't know. No idea.
What the heck?
Now, if that was the queen, would you make the queen clean the droid?
She's having fun. Hey, you, go clean this droid up.
Padme, go clean this thing.
Go,
I'm ruler now.
Yeah, and while you're at it, wash all my clothes. Make me a sandwich.
Actually, it's really funny now that I think about it. Like, what?
She's kind of mad too. Like,
or did she say, "Make me clean this droid so they don't suspect me to be the queen," or something like that?
That's she's possible. Cleaning it though. She's actually.
She cleans them good. Yeah, I mean, he's like shiny
she's
and
a
stuff.
Good queen. That's pretty funny. I didn't even think about that.
But even we were just saying about it. Even the '99, that looks pretty dang good.
Yeah, see, that's gonna be a real arm.
That's practical. It looks like. Yeah,
I was always able to at least tell that, and like when he reaches his hand later on in the pod racer.
Yeah, but that's pretty good effects, man. Yeah. I mean, that's
camera's moving. He's it's moving with it there.
Well, I mean, Ahmed Best is there.
Yeah, he's got the fake.
He's got the fake head on there, and he's able to.
They must at least overlay or something. I don't know, because I feel like there's still some digital parts of just his general body, but I don't know. There you go.
Unless he shot. Unless he was in it just did once, as a reference, and then maybe stepped out, and then I don't know, maybe it's
for
possible.
Lighting or whatever.
Yeah, that could have been. So we get to return to Tatooine here, familiar planet. Obviously, we've been here twice before in episode 4 and episode 6.
They have to land in the furthest place possible from the city. So that's hyperdrive.
That is a hyperdrive.
What the heck?
And it's leaking.
Don't want
somewhere it's leaking.
Why would you? He's not cleaning it. No one's cleaning a leak. So
how does a Jedi? I guess a Jedi knows everything about a hyperdrive.
Yeah, they just know machines. They know planets. They just study everything.
Yeah,
they walk so far, and they're just now saying, "Hey, wait, catch up." Like, well, they gotta follow him for.
Yeah,
Panica has to walk like a quarter mile now back to the ship.
See, now this is where I started thinking. I remember thinking, like, okay, that's got to be the queen. I mean, that's
because she came with it.
Yeah, like why would? Yeah, there's no reason to say so. But especially when they meet Anakin, there's that fateful meet.
You get some really heavy samurai kind of Western kind of feel coming in here. Look at the poncho.
Now is that Mos Eisley way over there?
Oh,
just
I don't
rocks. Know. That's Mos Espa because we're going to Mos Espa, not Mos Eisley.
Yeah. So because we profiled this, Mos Espa was pretty much the capital until the Hutts sort of made Mos Eisley the new capital, but. Yeah, Qui-Gon's looking very Clint Eastwoody right now.
And Mos Eisley was more of a the spaceport.
Oh, he stepped in the poop.
This is seems more of a commerce area, markets and more like a bigger city. Yeah, this was definitely bigger, right? This is bigger than Mos Eisley.
Yeah, this is like a real deal capital.
Yeah. I mean, it looks even way big.
You see all the domes
in the background,
And the domes are there for the heat.
Yes.
To control the heat.
That's right.
This now.
So
I love Watto. No, he's one of my favorite. I think
he is.
Back when I first saw this, Watto.
Very clever character as far as like even creature, I mean, so now we get the
here he goes.
The
there he is. He's
the
adorable.
appearance of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah, Darth Vader. Now, I always thought the original teaser poster for this was brilliant.
So Anakin standing and you see the shadow. Yeah.
I thought that was just a brilliant poster. I bought it. I have it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
that's
the
cool.
boy who will be Darth Vader. Now, how do you feel about some of those people saying that? Because there are people out there that are like, well, we never had to know. It kind of diminishes Vader's character to know
the backstory.
The backstory.
I mean, there's maybe an element to that. I don't know. Like it makes him more human, which I think makes a character better. Is making any character. I mean, that's necessarily true, but like making a villain appear more human to me, in some ways, makes them a better character. Not saying that know, if the Joker was made more human, he'd be a better character. No, but like. The Joker's a different kind of villain than Darth Vader, but I don't know. I think it fits because it's a tragic story. Vader's a tragic hero who falls, and the redemption of that. I think it's a good story. I mean, it's like any kind of Shakespeare kind of thing, or this really big, long, overarching saga of a character's rise, fall, rise again. Kind of thing. I mean, I like it. I mean, I hate to be like a yes man to all the stuff that Star Wars tries to do, but. I love it. I love it all.
To me, I just don't buy. I don't buy someone being evil for the sake of being evil.
It's just pure, yeah.
I think it's like I think you kind of just said it. I think there's more. I think there's more to a villain if you know the reason.
Yeah, and not just know the reason, but like you kind of understand, even get a little bit behind the reason.
Totally.
Like that's that's kind of. Well, I've always learned, and I've always, in my experience, it makes a good villain is, it's like the exact opposite. The hero and the villain go after the same thing, but the villain kind of wants it for a little bit twisted reasons. You can understand it and go with it, but it's a little twisted. Like Daredevil, the first season of Daredevil, there's a scene with Kingpin where he kind of lays out his motivation for what he wants to do. You totally get behind it, but it's twisted and it's evil, but you really understand it. So same with Vader. He just wants to save Padme and save the galaxy, but he does it in a very twisted way.
But you also, to me, by knowing his backstory, you then understand why and how he can be redeemed.
Yes.
Right? Because if he's just a pure evil guy in episode 4, you don't know nothing about his backstory, why never would he ever think about becoming good again or helping his son? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Unless you know that there was a time where he was in love with somebody, where he was looking forward to having a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and I tell you, like all these comics we're getting now of all these struggles he has, remembering Padme, finding out who Luke is, and knowing the history behind that, it makes for me it all the more tragic watching the originals. Yes. You're sitting there watching like, oh, poor Anakin. Just he was so good. Just and like then cheering even harder at the end when he saves the day and kills the Emperor, saves Luke and restores balance and all that stuff. So I like it. I mean, I'm all for it, but I don't know. It's just I guess it's I don't know if it's easier for me for my generation to say that, but I do like it. Very cool.
Yeah, I do too. I was always buying in, like I got to see 1, 2, and 3 and see how bad it got, how fast it got, because I mean the biggest thing about the biggest thing to me about this is not just episode 1, but this trilogy is finally seeing or hearing about the Clone Wars like that. I mean, we heard about that in '77.
Yeah,
that was a tangible thing in '77.
Just one other thing that's like such a heavy expositional story thing that just kind of say like,
that's right,
the Clone Wars. Okay, what the heck?
What the heck with the Clone Wars?
Here's 3 movies that tell you about the Clone Wars and about the Senate. It's
and then here's a whole television series about the Clone Wars.
Yeah, which make the originals much more better.
Correct.
That's why people who hate the Clone Wars. Hate the prequels so much. I wish they would give the Clone Wars a chance, because if they watch the Clone Wars, I feel like maybe they can appreciate the prequels more.
Yeah.
I hate to have a television show kind of redeem 3 movies, but anything to get more people behind the prequels.
And then there's all that. There's an argument too of some people saying how, well, you didn't have to go back this far. You could have gotten Vader when he was a Jedi already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to me, this is, I just feel like, okay, yes, it's Anakin's story, but it's his story too. It's Obi-Wan's story too.
Yeah.
It's him seeing the tragedy that he sees at the end of this movie that makes him, and makes him why he had to dedicate himself and go and offer to go against the council. Yeah. Right? Because the council wasn't going to grant Jedi or Anakin training. So there's more story in here than people give it credit for sure.
And character, I think it's definitely characters. Yeah,
it's a lot of introduction. You had to introduce all these people. I mean, to be honest, I remember even George even said in an interview. I mean, that's all the original trilogy was. He said he described it best. I remember he described it best. The first movie, you introduce the characters. Yeah. The second movie, you put them in the worst possible position. Yeah. And then the third movie, they get out.
I mean, it's like the 3 movies are like 3 acts of a story. Yeah.
So in this movie, it's introducing them. Yeah. Episode 2, it's put them in the worst possible position, which is the beginning of the Clone Wars. Yeah. And then they get out of the Clone Wars, although episode 3 sucks because it has to get very bad. It doesn't really get good.
Oh my gosh,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Kind of ends on a bad note with the Empire, but we get introduced now to Anakin's mother here, Shmi.
Shmi.
And of course, an unfinished C-3PO.
He's horribly mutilated.
Now, how did you feel about that? Did you realize right away that Darth Vader created
C-3PO? Oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
I was always bothered like it's not finished. I just kind of, OCD, I don't know. It just bothered me like, I want to see him I want to see C-3PO. I feel like it's not real enough. But no, that was cool to see how he looks on the inside.
All right.
I mean, knowing Anakin created C-3PO, it raised questions, made me ask a lot of questions like, well, did he, just that connection he has with all these, with R2-D2. He knew R2-D2. He knew C-3PO. He knew Obi-Wan. And, again, it makes it more tragic when we see him in 4, 5, and 6 at how cold and distant he is from all these things that he once loved. But, it just makes a stronger connection between him and all these other characters, Darth Vader. So, really cool. I wonder... of course, we now know C-3PO's mind was wiped.
Yeah.
But R2-D2, is he going around being
knows everything.
It's like, listen, I know this guy. Let me go talk to him. And
I actually did think about that, which I think I answered. I think I really answered my own question. But the thing about it is, even though they're droids, they're not artificial intelligence.
True, they can't.
Right? So they don't think and have emotion.
Yeah.
They're programmed to do a certain thing. It seems so much like
they have a personality.
Now here's our first shot of Coruscant.
So busy.
Which I was like, wow, I'd live there.
It's busy, yeah.
But one of the greatest lines in the history of Star Wars right here. And Maul's voice was so awesome when I first heard it. But this line that he comes up with about revealing ourselves to the Jedi, which is in the trailer.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Because I remember Maul right here. Yes.
The last movie had revenge. I mean, it's just look at his eyes. He is.
It's got hurt.
Dark side all over the place.
He's fuming with anger.
Now that was, of course, played by Ray Park, which is his first ever acting role.
Really?
Yeah, he was.
Stunts.
I mean, he was a martial arts. Yeah. He was brought in to do martial arts stunts, and he did it better than anybody. So it's like, you probably need to just be Darth Maul. But now I remember that this scene. I really, really love this scene.
Yeah.
I love the fact when, Shmi is telling Qui-Gon, he can help you.
Yeah.
He's born to help. That's what he's meant to do. It's cool. And it's like, and he's figuring out who Jedis are. And
see, for me, I just now kind of came to this realization. Like for me, like seeing Anakin go through all these steps, it's kind of like how the first Harry Potter movie was as well. Because Harry Potter came after 2 years after this, but I was still in that kind of young age where like you identify with Anakin, like you want to join the Jedi Academy with Anakin, like you want to go on this fun journey with him and become a hero. You know, so it worked for me in that sense, like because I identified with Anakin, much like how people identified with Luke back then. So like I identified with him, and I was sold in this movie, like immediately sold forever. So people, because a lot of people, hate on Anakin, hate the character, he's just a little child, bratty boy, that kind of thing, whatever. But I mean, as we keep saying though, if it was for the kids, it was for me. This movie's for me. It worked. It definitely works.
Yeah, and see this is very much, we talked about this, I think, on the last episode where analyzing the trailer of episode 7, like, within the trailer of episode 7, Rey says, they're stories.
Yeah.
And it takes Han saying, they're true, all of it. Well, we had this thing where we're talking about how vast the galaxy is, and how in some parts of the galaxy the Jedis aren't really that known, and they're not supposed to, they half of them probably think they're myths, and they've never seen them. So you kind of do get that sense right here in this conversation, because
Jedis are invincible.
Because Anakin's like, you're a Jedi, and only Jedis carry that laser sword. Yeah. No one can kill a Jedi. I mean, he's heard stories.
Yeah.
He's heard stories.
Yeah.
But that's all it is stories, because he's never seen one before.
Yeah.
So it's starting to really mesh together how Word, even though there's all this technology of holograms and HoloNets and all this stuff, but it just seems like it takes a while for information or stories to get out, and how do you even know what's true or not? You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy to think of like that. I
almost want to see a story, like a novel or something, of the point of view, totally from the point of view of something like this, out on the outside, who just doesn't really know any of it. But thinking about Shmi Skywalker, that actress, kind of going literary here, like Anakin Skywalker is always been seen as like a Christ figure type of thing, born of the Force, only with a mother. Shmi, the actress, also played Jesus' mother in Passion of the Christ.
That's
so
right.
She's played the same role twice, basically.
That's true. Yeah.
I always thought that was kind of an interesting little trivia.
Mm-hmm.
This is
trailer.
a little bratty moment from.
I say trailer every time.
Yeah, trailer.
Trailer.
Oh, look at that little bratty movie.
Yeah, I know,
I don't approve. What the heck?
Now coming up, I guess almost coming up, but I think this movie there was two things in this movie that George really wanted to accomplish on screen.
Yeah.
And I think one was Darth Maul and his fighting technique.
Yeah.
But I think the other one was the pod race.
Yeah.
I mean, I you can tell, because I remember
a big part of the movie.
Yeah, that was, and it was so hard to do, I think, digitally and as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
But I really think a lot of it was focused on getting to that pod race and seeing how much movie making and digital technology had come at that point, because I mean, it's just amazing work when you sit down and watch it. And I can watch that pod race over and over.
Well, some people say that's one of the most boring parts of the movie, actually.
Really?
Because it's just so long, and it's just like a huge part of the movie when it only advances it just like a little bit.
Yeah.
Some people say that, but yeah, I mean, of course, as a kid, I loved it. So it's pretty. Made a cool video game out of it too. I enjoyed the pod racing game. I think it was N64.
Yeah. They got the arcade one at like Dave & Buster's and stuff like that. It's really big. You actually sit in it.
Well, they got rid of like the old Star Wars game that used to be in all these arcades, which was the original trilogy Star Wars game. Well, you had like the joystick and you can like shoot, you fly lightsabers with it. It was really cool. That used to be at Gaddy Town.
Yeah, I remember talking about.
Very cool.
Obi-Wan's still stuck on the ship.
Poor guy. What are these guys doing in the back? They're just.
Yeah,
he's propped his leg up there like he's just master of that.
The master of my domain.
Yeah. I rule here.
I love this conversation too.
Yeah,
I think it's a great scene. You learn a lot in this scene about Anakin. Now, what did you think about it, honestly, when you first heard there was no father? I was like, what?
It was just cool.
Wait
I
a
was
minute.
just like, it's another thing that kind of made me like so much more interested in like wanting to know more. Like I want to know. Like it's like I know like hearing about the Chosen One stuff. Like, oh, he's so powerful. He's so cool. Like I just want to see him get in action, do some stuff. Like I always wanted to see Anakin fight with a lightsaber as young Anakin, though. You know, that's why when Episode 2 came out, I didn't know it was gonna be 10 years later until I saw the movie. I knew he was older.
Yeah.
But then they say, like, it's been 10 years. I'm like, what? What's happened in that 10 years? Like, I want to see what happened in all that time, you know? I want to see little Anakin with a lightsaber, like, kicking butt and taking names, but never did.
I know there was a big novel series about
there was,
between there.
Some junior novels.
Junior novels
that
between
kind of
there.
Well, I remember, too, like, when this came out, you know, like, I was buying all kinds of toys left and right, and not any clothes, but just toys. And then, like, our school's book fair had a lot of Episode 1 books, and like I think I still even have it. Some of those books. One was like an Anakin Skywalker journal. So it was like the movie told from the point of view of Anakin. It was pretty cool. And that is not Greedo.
At first I thought that was Greedo, but it's not.
Walden? Is that his name? Something like that. Something with one W.
Yeah.
Oh, Kit. This is Kitster. He's a little punk.
No, isn't that Lucas's kid? One of those is Lucas's
I think it's,
kid.
I think
Some are
it's
Spielberg's kids too, I think, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, that looks like Lucas's girl, the tall one.
Yeah, I think it was.
Kitster's such a little
Kitster. You know, there was a rumor for a long time that people thought that was Boba Fett.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, what? Because it's Vader and Boba Fett right there. Yeah, I was like, everybody. There's practical right there.
Right, yeah. And I always could tell that too. That always stood out to me, this part, because just the lighting change, the color change, it looks a little different.
Yeah, right here too.
And I was actually like really worried for Jar Jar at this point. I was like, oh my gosh, he's stuck. He's gonna die. Jar Jar's gonna die right here. Like, it's just they're just talking about him behind his back. He's just a weird guy over there. It's strange.
Yeah, but I was gonna say about the when I first heard about him being, you know, no father, and because it was funny because I remember seeing that for the first time, and right when they started talking, I remember thinking to myself, like, okay, are we going to find out who the father is? Because I want to know who the father is.
Yeah, this is bugging the crap out of me. Yeah.
And then when she was like, there is no father, I actually did think, like, what? Wait a minute. Because are you really going down that road where he was conceived by something or the Force, you know, or something? You know, I was like, that's just a different way to go. Because again, we at this point, we never had heard about the prophecy.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe they should have said something. Maybe I don't know. It's a good question. I guess
we don't hear about it till later. Because obviously you can see it in his face where oh, wait a minute, I know something that everybody else doesn't know.
He's just sitting there like screaming,
and he's doing that right now. Obviously he's trying to get now.
What happened to him right there? He's cut bad.
Yeah, I don't know. Now, wasn't there a deleted scene where he has that skirmish with Greedo?
Yeah, is that probably what?
Maybe it's what it was. Yeah. Oh, let me just poke you here.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry about it.
Steal your blood.
Yeah. Oh, it's he lied to him. He lies to him right here, pretty much. Checking for infections. Bull crap.
But I love. But again, going back to that scene, I just love that scene where he's talking to her. Yeah. And he says, that just he looks at her and says he has special powers. Yeah. And
there was a deleted scene for that
before they happen. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about special powers. I was like,
oh no, so man, it's so cool. Now this started getting a little confusing.
Oh yeah, off the charts. What is this like? What does this mean?
Like more than Yoda? Like what? Then that's the first time you hear midi-chlorians.
What are midi-chlorians?
Yeah,
not much. Yeah, I mean, and there was extended scene of that conversation. Or was it right there? Because where it talks about, it kind of hints that they had a.
Oh, I think it might be later moment when they're about to leave.
Maybe. Yeah, I can't remember. But it was a decent scene.
The part where I think it's the part where he puts his hand on her shoulder.
Yeah.
Because she actually reaches up and grabs it.
Yeah.
And then, but now it's not in there. They cut it earlier. Yeah.
Gosh,
that was awesome.
I just poop my pants every time he walks in the shot.
Yeah. See, he sees both cities here. Like one of those is Isley and Espa. I think that's Isley, and then that's
he just sends two droids, two probe droids.
Yeah.
Like the music, his like theme, his leitmotif, as it's called. It's pretty
Three
cool.
of them.
Oh, well, there you go.
He's gonna find him.
Good thing you brought 3.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, Darth Maul has easily become that, to be honest. Like, he's that. I think he's kind of what Kylo Ren is right now coming in episode 7. Like, I think a lot of people are excited about that character, who he is. And everybody was like, who is Darth Maul? Darth Maul, if you remember, like, the episode 1 poster, like, his face was the entire background.
Yeah.
So you knew he was going to be something. You just didn't know what. So now they're in the hangar here, obviously getting ready for the pod race.
The chance cube. Yeah, Qui-Gon totally cheats in this little.
He's a gambler. Yeah, he's a cheater. Yeah, there's Saboba. That's hilarious. It's got the Twi'leks.
Yeah.
Twi'leks or Twi'lek?
I always forget, to be honest. I always forget.
I call it Twi'lek.
Yeah, whatever. It's, tomato.
Twi'lek. Yeah, I don't. How did you feel about that too? About finding out that Anakin was a slave? I mean, that was kind of.
It was new. It was
different.
Yeah, very different. Never would have. Never would have guessed something like that. I guess existed maybe even in Star Wars universe, but
yeah, slavery.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but
yeah, because obviously when they start talking about that, you're like, well, what is he going to do? Like kill Watto? To free him? And something like this. But obviously, something like this has to happen. But that's that's it too. Like like Anakin or Qui-Gon is kind of changing fate necessarily.
I mean, he's
you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's
like, if it was meant to happen, it was meant to, like, he shouldn't have, he didn't have to do anything like Cube.
Since the Force is all control. What does he say? All powerful Force controlling everything.
Yeah. But I felt like that was kind of. I almost sometimes felt like, wait, because if it was red, Anakin wouldn't have been freed, and I don't know. I just sometimes I felt like he was the Force. You're supposed to let it guide you, I think, in a sense, but not
well,
cheat.
It's just how Qui-Gon's character. He's just always kind of
defying it.
Defying on the edge.
I guess
he's a different denomination of Jedi. Maybe I don't know what you would call it. Of course, you would. Don't look so put off.
She changed her hair already. Pretty good there. I mean,
she's looking all dolled up.
All dolled
for this little race.
Pro droid.
Then over there, did you look good enough? No, you just kind of scanned and moved on. Why don't you look harder?
Yeah. Now this is pretty cool. One of my favorite characters shows up here. Jabba the Hutt. He was in the trailer, so I knew he was in it.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. And his wife, I think, shows up too.
I guess that's his wife.
I think, or something like that. I don't remember. Is that
Gardola? Is that Gardola?
Oh, it might be actually. Well, maybe.
I think
that owns Anakin?
Used to own Anakin.
Yeah.
Right.
Ben Guajanero.
Yeah, a dewback back there. That's a dewback.
Looks like it. Yep.
Big old dewback.
A moving dewback. Very mobile.
Dewback.
Now, for this scene, and I never really knew this, but at Asbury, where I graduated, they have a lot of props from movies that Asburyans worked on. And I guess some Asburyans must have worked on episode 1 or whatever, but they have a prop from episode 1 from this sequence. They have basically something from the stands, because what they do this for a lot of movies. They can't pay for all the extras and get the shot set up right. So sometimes in the wide shots, when you see the crowd, it's a fake crowd. It's not necessarily digital, but they actually built like a miniature stand risers, and they did little colored Q-tips kind of thing for the people.
Wow.
So like really far wide, maybe they might have added some digital. They had people underneath like moving the Q-tips, so it looks like it's moving crowds. Looked like it was a active crowd full of people, but they're really just like a tiny colored Q-tips. That prop though is at Asbury University, and
really?
I saw it like every day. I used to work in that building, and and went to school there. So I thought it was really cool. Nice little trivia, a little tidbit there.
That is a little
sometimes
trivia.
it's a little. Like, now there's supposedly some Easter eggs of certain audience members here at the pod race. One of them being the character from, was it Willow?
I think so. Yeah,
Warwick Davis's
character. Yeah, Willow. Kind of joining that universe, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. There were some other things too. Like, people thought that Prince Zeiser was in there.
Really?
I heard some people thought like, hey, Prince Zeiser's in there, or like, kind of try to make that connection as well. I don't think that was ever confirmed, but the Willow thing, I think even Lucas himself said that.
Yeah, but like, there's a lot of Lucasfilm employees that are actually in there too.
I can imagine.
And I think Rick McCallum, who produced these, or is in there too somewhere. Yeah. But
he picked you up. Don't get too crazy.
Whoa!
It's so high. I'm about to go on a pod race, and I get picked up, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I was stoked about seeing this scene. I remember.
I love the little phrase he gave him. Feel, don't think, use your instincts. It's really cool.
It is.
So sweet.
Yeah, this is so this was a big moment, I think, in Star Wars, because there's Jabba. And there's Bib Fortuna still. He's still around.
Yeah. So he looks a little different, but yeah.
Yeah, but this is the first time you see him mobile, obviously. Except in the prequel, except in the special edition, you saw him in Episode 4 again. But you kind of get a sense here of their mobility.
Yeah,
because it's still that's one thing I think that sucks about Episode 6 is that Jabba, he's just so you couldn't do anything with him.
Yeah, just move his tail a little bit there.
He had to stay in one place, and I would have been neat to see him be immobile. Like move around a little bit in there, but like every time someone had to talk, they made them bring it to him. He couldn't get there. You know what I mean? It
was just like that. Like, again, like with those old Asian, like Japanese kind of,
like when they were behind the curtain. You remember, and they revealed, and they were like, "Bring her to me because I can't walk over there.
You just come over here."
Yeah,
just come, a little closer, a little closer. They added some shots. I'm pretty sure
this is the extended part.
Yeah,
it's in the original. Well, it's in the they mixed it in. And now this is the final cut or whatever, but it is all of the shots that are from the pod race.
Yeah, because I remember like seeing it in theaters and seeing it on the DVD release, and then like the re-release of the DVD, and now this, and like they add some stuff. That's pretty interesting.
A lot more of the engine starting there, and
some shot. There's one extra shot I think of a pod racer. I think that they added later on. It was just really cool.
I think they've already done them.
Yeah.
There he is. You're talking, that's Willow?
Yeah. Oh
man.
That's violent. There's blood on the thing now.
Poor guy.
I felt so bad.
Poor kid.
I was like, oh, that's it. It's just, he's over.
Yeah,
it's over with. And just flip a bunch of switches and it's
okay.
okay.
Restart. Stalled. There's another guy, I think, right? That didn't make it?
Yeah.
That didn't start either?
Yeah. So he's not all bad. But
see, look at that. That was a trailer.
Yeah.
Quadrant Quadrant. He didn't make it either.
I don't hit it.
But this, clearly this scene, this whole sequence is really to portray his power, like his Jedi power. Because no human can do this.
Yeah.
Like, it was clear he said that. No other human can do this.
No human, looks at the camera, can do this. No normal human. That's clearly, come on. There's cameras out there.
All right. I guess you're allowed to do that, though. I mean, maybe you're allowed to do that.
It's like Death Race.
Yeah. But
I couldn't. That's crazy.
Very awesome scene. I mean, some of these shots are just incredible.
Yeah.
Like, the ones that go by the camera like that. And
hey, look who it is.
Arsing.
Arsing. That's so random and weird.
Love Arsing.
Like, they added they just threw in a random shot of a character that actually has a lot of, like, story to her.
Uh-huh.
And we saw her in the Clone Wars a bunch. Like, do you know the reason why he added her into this? He just wanted to have a cool looking character in there?
I think, as far as I remember, whatever I've read, he just wanted a bounty hunter.
Just a bounty hunter sitting there?
Create a bounty hunter that just happened to be watching this race.
That's so interesting.
And they made Aura Singh. Now, what's crazy about Aura Singh is we highlighted her on one of our shows.
Yeah.
She has she actually has an antenna.
She's bionic. What you call them? I can't remember the name. But yeah, she has an antenna.
Something.
Yeah. But she's cyborg kind of deal.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
she has
but
an
she's
implant.
also
It's an implant. Yeah.
But isn't she force sensitive?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little force sensitive.
Because I thought she trained and then left or something like that, right?
Something like that.
So, but
At least that's EU.
Yeah, again, that's a lot of.
But she does have an antenna on her head.
But yeah, she expanded the universe more so than anything. But she shows up in the Clone Wars, so
yeah,
she's helping Boba Fett a lot, basically partnered with him.
Very cool character. Why
would you even take the time to pit stop?
Yeah,
it's only 3 laps.
Yeah,
what are you gonna do? You know what?
Yeah, they obviously don't know what to do. And now you're done. It's
done.
over. And I think still alive. Oh, poor guy. Sorry.
Yeah.
And it's like, Jabba, come on.
What the?
That's your food. Why are you doing this?
Well, he probably makes someone go get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Bring it back to me.
Bring it back.
I like this game. I drop it, you pick it up.
Awesome shots.
Yeah.
Just great visuals of this race here. Coming through there. See, that's an extra shot. I think that got added in.
No, what? Circuits.
Yeah, it's just the idea of this. I mean, how ambitious are you when you're writing this? You know, and it's like, how are we even going to pull this off? I mean, this is incredible back in the
guts
late 90s.
Say like, I'm writing this and we're going to make it. Whatever it takes, we're going to do it.
Whatever it takes, yeah. I think we get our first shots too here. Tuscan.
Can you say
Tuscan Raiders?
The mic.
The Sand People.
Yeah, we saw them. Yeah, they're shooting the.
Oh yeah, we already see them.
We saw them
shooting the first time.
Yeah, and they did the raising the gun thing.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, we got it. We did it.
First time seeing those.
Yeah.
Because you're on Tatooine. They're obviously all over the place.
All these little Easter eggs. Like, hey, there's these guys. They should have a Sarlacc pit in there too. It's like an obstacle. And
that would be pretty crazy.
Grabbed him or crate dragon, just smacking him.
That would be pretty crazy. This shot right here is in the trailer. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. See, like.
Oh gosh, the puking.
See, this is an extra scene.
Yeah.
So Boba actually, I think, made a mistake by taking out all these competition, guys for Anakin.
So Boba.
Yeah, because he's like just moving up because these guys are getting knocked out.
Yeah, he's murdering everybody. He's a murderer.
Yeah, this was strange. This was actually a little strange to keep in or to put back in because this part wasn't part of the original theatrical.
Yeah.
Where he loses this piece and
smart kid. I mean, that's incredible.
It is pretty good as far as like showing what he can do.
Yeah.
But it seems like. Wait a minute. You didn't start. You had that issue come. I mean, and you really are truly now in second place already?
Yeah.
It's like it's a lot of
oh, the sounds.
Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, there's the Tusken Raider.
It didn't seem like there was a lot of effort that had to go into getting back up to the front. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like that's how
all the distractions
with all these races too, like they speed up so quickly then suddenly they're at the same speed. As I mean, I'm not a I don't know. I don't know the physics behind it, speed, velocity, whatever. But it seems like if you're going that fast to catch up, can you go faster to pass him? I don't know, but maybe I just don't know enough.
And now, like right now, it's really just the two of them.
Yeah. I do think that the cool move he does here at the end of getting first place, like where he goes above him, stalls the engines, and falls in front of him there.
Oh, right.
That's a cool move. I've always thought that was such a cool little move he did.
Oh, did he do a little flip here? He goes up.
Yeah. Well, he does. I think later on he does like a flip over him or something like that. Yeah, he kind of flips over his ride. Oh gosh, get out of the way! All the places.
This is where he takes off.
Yeah.
Kind of skips a lot of the race. That's where he kills the engine, right? Yeah.
Oh,
pretty neat.
Oop. There you go.
Pretty cool. Sabalba. Sabalba.
Pretty cool. Now, the voice of this guy, I'm pretty sure...
The announcer?
The announcer. Cause I always recognize him because I used to watch Whose Line Is It Anyway a lot. And there was always a comedian on there. He's a famous comedian named Greg Proops.
Uh-huh.
I think that's him. I'm pretty sure. It sounds exactly like him, but I might be wrong. And I keep forgetting to tweet out there because I wanted to tweet out, see if anybody has like Star Wars questions for us or anything.
I mean, it's like the worst things that could happen to you.
Yeah, it is a horrible
it happens. Although Boba caused that one.
Yeah, he did.
But I just feel like, man, I think it
actually hurts. I feel like that would harm Sebulba there too. Like, dang it, I got smoke in my face.
Yeah, he's coughing. He's coughing. But then it's like, it's his damn an engine, but he's still keeping up with them.
Yeah.
You know? Hey, they're watching an iPad?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, there you go. See, George Lucas knows what he's doing. He's so innovative.
That's pretty neat how he does this, though.
Yeah. Good thing he built that in
Puts
there.
the fire out.
Just in case.
Transfers the fuel.
Yeah. Now, the Doug that walks in Jabba's palace in episode 6, is that Sebulba or is that just a Doug? I can't remember.
Pretty sure I think it's just Doug.
Just a Doug.
In Jabba's palace,
yeah,
right?
Just
I
Doug
think it's just
around.
Doug. Yeah.
It would have been... just thinking of this, like, it might be kind of interesting if they changed the story where Anakin accidentally kills Sebulba in this race. Like, in this little crash he causes, like, if Sebulba dies. I thought that might have added to, like, a little more risk for bringing him onto the Order.
Yeah.
You know?
Very much so.
He's actually killed somebody. Like
that's actually pretty interesting. Yeah, very much so.
A little dark, make it a little... Oh, there you go. Oh, don't touch her, man. Pushing the boundaries.
Oh! Whoa.
It's a little.
That trailer shot.
Yeah.
Must just do it every time.
It's all right. Trailer.
Trailer.
I'll do it for episode 3. How about that?
Yeah.
I'll just... That's cool stuff.
I mean,
I like right there, Qui-Gon like starts to look like he meditates
yeah,
there.
yeah.
That's cool.
Did he have his hand? He had his hand
Yeah,
on
he's
her
touching
too.
her, yeah. Maybe he's getting aroused. I don't know. He's just like...
Oh, man.
What's happening? It's hurt, man.
Now,
You
this
gotta do
sequence,
something.
I admit, this sequence is a little long.
Yeah.
But...
Well, because I remember, maybe it's because it was so late. We watched this in 3D. I was actually falling asleep during this part of the movie, but because I've seen it so many times, and it was
so
3D,
many times.
3D, and I don't like 3D too much, and it was late at night, but I did fall asleep.
Yeah, 3D doesn't do anything for me either.
Yeah, he did it.
Unfortunately, I am seeing 3D episode 7 on
Not
Friday.
your first time, though.
No, on Friday.
Yeah.
Really, we had no choice, but
Yeah.
I think it's good to kind of see it one time, maybe to see the different. Even though I'm like you, I'm not a fan of 3D movies at all.
I don't know if I'll care to ever see it in 3D, but I like to see it at least once in IMAX.
Me too.
Yeah, go to
sure.
Louisville.
Me too, for sure.
See it.
Yeah.
He did it. Oh, Jabba fell asleep.
asleep.
Come on, Jabba.
Yeah.
Huh?
Bib Fortuna.
Bib looks a little rough. It looks a little different.
Bib. Yeah, he did look a little different. So maybe that was his uncle. Or something. Maybe it's not him. I don't know.
He is dirty.
Of course, Padme with a long hairstyle.
Yeah. I changed it for you, Anakin. I changed it after the race started.
Yeah.
It's my post-race haircut. Oh, Mom. Yeah. You didn't even give her anything.
Would she say something like, "You bring hope to all those who
Yeah,
have none"?
you bring hope to others that have none. Oh, thanks, Mom. Yeah, I'm 8 years old. What am I supposed to do with that?
Did you notice the probe droid?
I did. Yeah, I've always noticed it. Yeah, I always thought, like, oh, he's there. He got you. The droid probably didn't even expect it. He turned around, like, oh, shoot, and just like kept walking. Is that Greedo? No, it's not Greedo.
Now, did you expect Qui-Gon to be around the entire trilogy?
Yeah, I was very surprised he died. But I never. At this point, I never really anticipated. I didn't even think of anything of like who's gonna live and die. Like maybe in the back of my mind, I always kind of thought like a lot of these characters won't be around for very long. But like Padme, it probably wasn't until like really episode 2 where I thought like, well, Padme's gonna have to die eventually. All these Jedi are gonna have to die eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, I didn't really think anything of it. It was still pretty new to me, to be quite honest, of heroes dying.
Yeah.
in a film. You know, Lion King, honestly, was like one of the first times that happened at such a young age. But like Gladiator was really the big one where that happened. Spoiler alert. Sorry, guys.
I think everybody's seen
and Lion King as well. Spoiler alert.
Gladiator by now.
But yeah, so this it did surprise me. I was really sad about it too. But yeah, he freed him. I did hear that, Anakin. I was sitting right here. Yeah, dunce.
And then he gave her credits, I guess, right?
Like a lot of credits, yeah.
But it's not Republic credits because the Republic does the credits no good. No good here. I need something more real.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, settle down, Spaz. Yeah, you can, just pump your brakes, kid.
Training to be a Jedi.
That sounded so cool to me that when I was first watching, it's like training to be a Jedi. Like, I always wanted to train. You know, my brother and I and one of his buddies, we pretend to have our own Jedi trainings. You know, with our lightsabers. It was just the idea was just so cool. I always wanted to do it. The choice is yours alone, Eddie.
But you know, so Anakin is basically half the age of what Luke was, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Luke was 18, 19.
19, yeah.
Anakin here is only supposed to be 9 or 10? 9?
I want to say 8, but yeah, 8? Around that age.
So, it just, you know, it shows because when he gets to Coruscant, obviously, like you always heard Luke being called too old,
right?
And then they're saying he's too old. Gosh, that means Luke was really old,
way too old, not
old.
even considering training. I'm like, why even ask me?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, why didn't Obi-Wan like grab him sooner? And like, hey, okay, it's time before you get too old.
That's that comic, you know. He even said that in the was that one episode of Star Wars, right? Was it Star Wars or was it one of the issues?
It had to have been Star Wars.
Yeah, the Star Wars issue.
Talking about the journal one.
Yeah, where he says like, you know, I should have pulled you. I should have.
Yeah.
But you know, had to protect you, whatever. But
here, this scene. Here's what we're talking about.
Oh yeah,
like,
right.
So he puts his hand on her shoulder, and then
at the end, it like
before it cuts, they actually went up and grabbed his hand,
and then he grabs her arm, and then he grabs her body, and then they make love.
Yeah, and then they kind of walk off screen into the other room. But
I always thought this shot was very interesting for Star Wars. This point of view shot here with C-3PO.
Oh.
Look, you never see anything like that.
That's true. You don't.
I'm curious. Why they decided steady? It's like, you know,
I didn't really
shaky cam there. It's
now coming up here. If whoever doesn't think this is one of the emotional scenes in the Star Wars universe, it's
pretty good.
Something wrong with you because this is a great trailer shot.
Yeah.
This is a great. I remember. I don't know if you ever know, but there was also a lot of TV spots though that went out
for this. Yeah, I do remember some of those.
And one was this scene here.
Yeah.
It's like 15 or 20 seconds that they just showed them having this conversation, you know. And
well, I vividly remember like at my house watching TV and seeing a trailer for this saying like either we are re-releasing it for 2 weeks or we're going to extend it for 2 weeks or something like that, the showing of episode 1 in theaters. And me getting so excited and like running to mom like, we got to go see it again. It's only there for like 2 more weeks. And I remember seeing like shots of this and shots of the Duel of the Fates and that kind of thing. But yeah, so I don't remember like the teaser. I don't remember the theatrical trailer. I just remember like little TV spots and all the marketing, all the promotional stuff.
Oh yeah.
Walking into Kmart, seeing the posters of all the characters hanging up throughout Kmart. I kept asking Corey. For some reason, I could never get the names right of Qui-Gon Jinn. I could never remember that or even pronounce it. And I was asking like, what is his name? But it's here he goes.
The music too.
Yeah,
perfect right there.
Why it's not cold? Why are you holding your arms? It's not cold.
So the music we got to point out too. John Williams obviously did this.
And,
you know, he approached it very similar to the way I think George approached the prequels. That he says, you know, I'm not going to redo the music, obviously, but I'm going to just kind of make themes, little side themes of how, and show just like he's showing in the filmmaking side, he's kind of showing the evolution of his music that you hear hints of the original trilogy because that's eventually going to get there.
Oh, gosh. He almost got his head taken off.
So first lightsaber battle that wasn't between Luke and Darth.
And I was always anticipating this. Corey always told me, because he saw it before I saw this movie, and he was like, you got to wait for this one really cool part, this really cool fight scene.
But everything's really tight shots there.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of tight shots. It wasn't just sitting back and it wasn't like just seeing them fighting each other, really, and I was a little disappointed by that, but we obviously get a lot of it later.
All of the jumping around and kind of stuff too. It's like, oh, interesting. That's pretty.
They just jumps up there.
Pretty cool. Oh, that's awesome.
That's an awesome shot. Awesome shot.
There's no hole on that side. Where's the lightsaber come through?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he has to unscrew the bottom.
Yeah,
of it.
yeah. That's what Corey has to do.
It's damaged or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Plug it up. He's out of breath.
So the infamous Obi-Wan. This is Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah. Oh
the meeting.
Gosh. They should have rumbled when they shook hands here. Should have had a moment like, what? I just felt something.
Meet Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like that's a cool moment. Like when I first saw this, it's pretty awesome. Wipe. Naboo.
So you think there's going to be wipes in episode 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
I didn't even thought about that, but yeah, there will be, and I'll be excited to see it. The first wipe, I'll clap for the first wipe transition in episode 7.
Yeah.
Take him away.
Take him away. He's sitting in a mobile throne.
Yeah, it's like it must be uncomfortable. He's always moving back and forth. It's like walking like a spider. Like, what the heck?
It is kind of like a mobile spider.
He's just constantly going back and forth. Let Jar Jar get a. Jar Jar, you don't have a room to sleep in.
Yeah, no kidding.
This guy always asking her to contact him.
Yeah, that his lines were in the trailer.
Yeah. That's great.
I remember those lines. You must contact me.
Yeah, so even it's more obvious now that she could be the queen. I just never.
Because she's thinking.
I didn't even think to make the connection.
Me neither.
When I was a kid, but yeah.
I didn't really. Is that that's practical?
That's practical. Practical eggs. Yeah. It's so cold. Oh,
too cold for my taste. Yeah.
Let me warm you with my body. Good pickup line there, Anakin. Yeah, good. I'm cold. I think I need more.
I mean, there sits the mother and father of Luke and Leia.
Yeah. Right? Although, when I first saw it, I felt like their age difference was too much. I don't know. She always seemed older.
Yeah, it's hard to fathom her age.
Yeah, she just always seemed older to me than what they portray her. But she really is mid-teens. Yeah,
I think she's supposed to be playing a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
In the Queen, the Queen.
Yeah.
And they keep voting her in because she ends up having, I can't remember what point it was, but she ends up getting out within these 10 years and become a senator.
Right.
So I don't know how much longer she rules after this, but but just some, there's just these scenes are really good moments.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't even remember that shot.
Love.
That's insane.
Coruscant.
Yeah.
And then we finally arrived at Coruscant. And
so bizarre how
I don't know how much a penthouse would be in one of those buildings, but I would buy it.
It's actually just 2 credits. The inflation.
2 credits.
It's the exchange rate is crazy.
And we get our first glimpse of Senator Palpatine.
Yeah.
The actual Chancellor of Valorum is back there.
Here comes Zod.
Which is Terrence Stamp.
Yeah. There's apparently really good, I haven't read it, my buddy Adam did, EU book of that's set before this that features a lot of Valorum and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently it's supposed to be really good. I just never got around to reading it because Adam read just about every EU novel there is. Oh, there she is. So Keira Knightley is still
switched.
Queen. Yeah.
I guess she was handmaid the whole time. I think.
Yeah.
Trip,
wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's also the voice of Jor-El in Smallville.
That's true. I heard some like interviews and stuff like that. Terrence Stamp was also one of the ones that was disappointed making this movie because like one of the story I heard him say was, you know, he was actually really eager to work with Natalie Portman, and he arrived on set one day and to film a scene with Natalie Portman, but as soon as he got there, George Lucas said like, you know, no, like, Natalie's not here. Basically, there's a blue dot on the wall. You're looking at that blue dot, and we're gonna shoot her and like add her in later or something like that. You know,
oh really?
So we're just shooting your sides today. So like he was kind of, you know, disenchanted, like just like Liam Neeson with all like the digital stuff and all of these, you know, crazy ways of
I never even kind of noticed that driver.
Yeah, me too. I was just now for the first time like he looks very shady.
He's
very,
like a horned monster.
It's like a devil. Excuse me, can we afford a better looking driver?
Actually, this part was actually extended. There was a lot more flying in there, I think, later on, but than that.
So this is her apartment building. Right.
No, it's his
offices. Like
his offices here.
His offices, right?
His offices.
Okay.
Yeah, because Anakin was in the shuttle there.
I was gonna say if that was Rose Byrne or not in there, but actually, is Rose Byrne in this one or in the second one?
No, Rose Byrne is in the second
episode
one.
2, right? Right.
She's Dorme.
Right. Okay.
I think right.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
no. Dorme was the one that dies. Because of the explosion.
Yeah.
She's the one that stays behind and replaces
her.
Are you
okay, my lady?
Yeah.
You know, when she got
what happened if they realize you left the capital?
Yeah.
That's Dorme.
What are you talking
or that's Rose Byrne.
Rose Byrne, yeah.
But Dorme.
So now this is Natalie Portman now that we see here. This is Natalie.
That is Natalie. She has made the switch. Yeah. And of course she has to because
this is important.
She's got to go to the Senate and make the case and
can't leave no Keira Knightley to mess with this stuff. She's
right.
This is above her pay grade.
But going back to what we kind of talked about before, I mean, this scene is highly all political.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're talking politics here. And I'm telling you, to the normal fan, it does get a little. It could be a little bit of a turnoff. Mm-hmm. It could be like, whoa, where's the action at? Where's the Jedis? Where are the?
Yep.
But.
So this Jedi Temple, are they in the very top of that thing?
Yes.
The very center of the top there? Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I think.
Center
Are they
spire?
in just one of the spires?
I don't know.
There's one of the spires over there. I think they're in the middle.
Every time I see like this scene here, I think of MTV Movie Awards when I used to watch a lot of that when Lisa Kudrow.
You're talking about Andy Dick?
Andy Dick was in this.
Yeah.
He was Kiadi Mundi, but Lisa Kudrow hosted and she was inserted into the scene.
That's right.
And then they just replaced Kiadi Mundi with Andy Dick. It is so clever and so funny. But
now I am so happy that they replaced Yoda.
Oh man, and some people really hate. Probably you said that, but yes, I agree.
Are you kidding me? The original, the puppet in episode 1 looked nothing like the original Yoda.
Yeah,
nothing.
Yeah,
it was very bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was. I remember seeing it like, that doesn't look like Yoda.
Yeah,
I mean they tried to make him kind of look younger, but he's not younger. It's only 30 years,
right?
Or not even that. It's like.
Right.
It's 32 years, 30, right? 32, 33 years. But come on, he's 800 years old. 30 years ain't going to do much.
That's a few decades. I just keep looking at the long neck guy in the back. I forgot Udall.
Yeah, no, that's
Yasif Poof.
Poof.
Yeah, Master Poof, whatever.
Yeah, Master Poof.
I just think of Robot Chicken. Though,
but he is fantastic looking back, Yoda as far as putting him back in there.
Yeah.
And
Kiadi Mundi.
Mundi.
Actually, it's Monday, right? They say that Monday in the Clone Wars.
Kiadi Mundi.
I think Monday. Yeah.
So awesome to see Samuel L. Jackson in there.
Yeah, well, I of course I knew who he was back in the day.
Absolutely,
everybody.
Probably the biggest star in this movie, I would say. Don't you think?
Yeah, at the
time.
Yeah, at the time,
because he had been in Jurassic Park.
He was in
Pulp Fiction.
Was it Do the Right Thing, or was it that? What was that? He was made him really famous, but he's in. It's just like he is not nearly as much.
He's in everything.
He's always.
He is obviously in everything now, but even at this time, I think after this movie, he became the highest grossing actor.
Yeah.
Because of Jurassic Park and because of this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pulp Fiction did a ton of money, obviously, too. But and I don't think he's never been nominated, I think, right? Has he?
I don't know. That's a good
You know what I
question.
mean? I don't think he has.
Big old sentiment. This is, I don't. I
So
feel like
this is just mind blowing here, to be honest.
How it's organized. I feel like it's gonna be boring though. I don't know. Like they must really amplify because you'd be off in the corner. Like we always talk about making fun of this, but having like the guy at the very very top.
We did talk about doing this a little bit of sketch. But you're talking about over. I think there's a number always thrown out, like it's like 2,600 systems or something like that are represented in here. But there's thousands, I think, still that aren't like.
Oh yeah,
like
definitely.
Tatooine doesn't have a set, a representative.
Jakku.
Jakku probably doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are obviously the more civilized worlds, I guess, in a sense, or the ones that have accepted, Republic influence.
Right. Is that a camera kind of floating around?
That is the camera, so that people can watch in their at their places. So I think this is just very well done. It's very very smart.
Yeah. These guys.
You heard they're from Malice there, right?
Malice there.
Yeah.
Wash those horns, pal. I poked him in the face. I was always interested in Padme's face. She just looks so scared.
She looked like that thing on her head hurts her.
Yeah.
Is what that thing
Yeah.
is. That
It's
look
like
on her face
squeezing
right there.
heavy and just squeezing her head.
And it was. There was a lot of times that
Yeah.
she's talking about how it was like really heavy and painful to wear those big headdresses and all that. And now I don't know if it goes with each chancellor, but it seems like that person next to him always changes. The bureaucrat that's always next to.
Well, the blue guy.
The blue guy's always there.
I forgot his name.
Masamita.
Yeah, Masamita.
He's always there, but the one on the left,
yeah.
like she gets replaced by some bald white person, white girl, like white, like ghost white.
Yeah.
I didn't mean like white.
Yeah,
white.
we got you.
Yeah, sitting next to.
Yeah.
Now don't we see? There's Wookiees.
Kashyyyk, I guess.
Kashyyyk,
is part of the Republic.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there's E.T.
There's E.T. Now, what does that mean?
E.T.'s a part.
Does that mean E.T. is part of the universe?
Yeah, I don't care if it's an Easter egg or just like a little joke, but E.T.'s a part of the Star Wars universe.
E.T. is. Now that actually, just a little quick side note.
Yeah.
That actually explains. Do you hear about that theory that E.T. is force sensitive and that's how he's able to fly?
Oh.
Like he's used to the force.
Yeah, that's hilariously
that
awesome.
Is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But this is one of the best, I think, best scenes.
Yeah.
Best shots in the galaxy. Seeing the background there, the sun setting.
Yeah.
Trailer shot.
I thought this was so cool.
Trailer shot.
He's just getting all the answers right.
Yeah.
He's so good.
I love that they just nod a lot. Yeah. Yoda. Man, he's my favorite character. If you don't know, he's the man. And then you got that's
Adigalia.
Adigalia. And that's that's the cousin of oh man. The one
character?
that's in the one that's mentioned in I think the one that mentioned in Clone or Rebels that got captured. They thought it was captured and then they went to rescue.
Yeah. They're cousins?
I think they're cousins.
I don't know. I can't remember her name either. I always want to see Baron something, but it's not. It's something like that. But the healer, the girl who like is good at healing people with the Force.
Which one's her?
The one that was captured.
Oh yeah,
thought to be captured.
Yeah. The name will come to me. Hopefully here. Love seeing I love this. This stuff's. This city is just fantastic. I'm a big city person.
Yeah.
I think New York is just, if you haven't been to New York, is phenomenal. And seeing it in the daytime and seeing it at night are two separate cities.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the same deal. Like, I love the freaking, the look of the city at night. And I think these shots are fantastic where you got, I mean, just think of what's happening at the digital, difficulty.
Yeah, blurry.
Doing the background. Yeah, just the background imagery, just knowing what's back there. It has to be back there, all these windows, you know. And now, they mentioned Antilles here, which is a little familiar if you knew.
Yeah.
Wedge Antilles, and then you had Captain Antilles, which is the
that's a dude.
Which I don't think they're related.
No.
Antilles is like Smith,
I guess.
Yeah, it's like a very common name, but
Palpatine, he's already getting there. Gosh.
Sheev, right?
Sheev, it's old Sheev.
Sheev.
I wonder if they know his name is Sheev.
I don't think that. I don't think Lucas made that name, right?
No,
I think Disney did.
It was one of the authors of the book. I think got it cleared or something.
Oh,
like that.
Yeah, that's right. And of Tarkin, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
So it's James Luceno.
Yeah,
of course, James Luceno.
But you notice it does. I think it's great cinematography here because you had such a warm look forever, and now you got a very blue look. I mean, they did this movie's very well shot. I think it's. And now it's getting ready to kick in the gear because now we're getting ready to battle. They're going to go back to Naboo here.
Yeah.
They're going to do a little switcheroo here when they get back on the shuttle.
Give me like 30 minutes. Like, you always go to the bathroom for like 30 minutes with one of your handmaidens. That's weird. It's really weird. Yeah, I guess that's where they
middle,
are.
Right? The middle one. Yep. Yeah.
But like outside those doors, doesn't look like there's. I guess it's an elevator.
It doesn't look like there's anything out the door.
You're like some kind of Acme cartoon. You just walk out and look down. There's nothing.
Walk the plank.
Yeah,
it's there.
If you don't accept you in the cabin.
Another thing I think of too, and this is the robot chicken where he's like, "Would you eat the pizzas?"
Yeah,
Poof.
Oh yeah, right? I always every time I see him, like, I think of Poof and like. After it's all happened and he's on the Death Star as like the cook.
Yeah. And then he sees Vader. Palpatine comes in line. He's like,
what do they say? The Emperor says something. Right?
He says, "I want the chicken." I guess. Or something like that.
Like they look at him almost as if he caught it. Yeah.
You didn't give me the sides or something. Oh, I love that. We watched that. We're going down to Celebration. Remember we were watching that?
Oh my god.
Dying laughing. Really good scene here, though. I think we're talking about. This is where Qui-Gon is kind of defying the council.
Yep.
Saying,
"Ooh, his eyes." That was good. I never noticed that look before.
Yeah. And another character back there you saw is Plo Koon.
Yeah.
You don't really get a sense of how awesome he is until the Clone Wars.
Right. No, exactly.
I mean, Plo Koon is a great, great Jedi.
He's just sitting there chilling.
And just a side note of that too. Do you know during the Clone Wars, in those episodes, his clone commander was Commander Wolf.
Oh, really?
Which is the guy that is one of the clones that's in Rebels right now with Captain Rex. Mm-hmm. So it's Wolf, Rex, and Gregor who's in that Republic. But I saw a thing by Dave Filoni that made sure that. Because people were wondering if Wolf was the one that shot down Plo Koon when Order 66 happened, but they stated no, that was not Wolf.
And that they know that too is just cool.
But I ended up going back and trying to watch Episode 3 and make sure that when Palpatine pops up that he doesn't say Commander Wolf, but he doesn't. He just says execute Order 66. So because some of the people he actually would say Commander Cody. And.
It was just kind of thing because when you're saying like you remember the lines from the trailers, kind of like with me though, every time shots from trailers, I hear certain lines because a lot of the toys, one of the toys was like this big gigantic comlink, and each action figure came with like a little chip, and if you put the chip on top of the comlink, it would say a line from the movie. So like the Obi-Wan Kenobi toy had an Obi-Wan Kenobi chip. You put on the comic, and he would say a few lines from the movie. One of those lines was, "Don't defy the Master Council, not again." So, like a lot of these lines that I hear in this movie, I always think that's a comlink line. That's a toy line. Also, with like Episode 4, 4, 5, and 6, there's remember when I used to have this game? It was like a memory game. You press a button on this Millennium Falcon toy, it would say a line from 4, 5, and 6, and you had to match it with with another button that said the same line. So there's so many lines in the original trilogy that when I hear, I think of that toy. So there's a lot of stuff in here, like Sam Jackson lines that are the same thing.
Now, what about? We kind of skipped over that. We got the explanation of the midi-chlorians.
Yeah, a lot of people hate it. I always hear people hate it so much because it's a bad use of exposition, bad use of like, what are midi-chlorians? Well, midi-chlorians are this, and this. But really, I don't think there's another way of explaining it.
Well, I almost, hearing it, I almost feel like it almost doesn't, like people are saying, it takes away from what the Force is,
like the mystical side of it.
And in the original trilogy where they're explaining what the Force does, right. Obi-Wan explaining it to Luke, but like I just feel like it doesn't add to it or doesn't even take away from it, because it is something completely different. I mean, it's what he's saying. What he said there was that midi-chlorians, they're microscopic life forms that live inside our cells.
Yeah,
striving for mutual advantage. He says, without them we could not exist.
Yeah,
and they're the ones that are kind of speaking through us through the Force.
It's like a conduit. I don't know, almost
you
like
know what I mean, like
almost like photosynthesis cells, like the chloroform, whatever. Like
like he's just trying to make an explanation of how somebody could be Force sensitive.
Yeah,
and somebody that doesn't have midi-chlorians and why they're not.
Yeah,
and it's not something you can just actually start learning.
And that's what I thought in the original trilogy. I thought anybody could learn it, and like Luke was just kind of taught how to use the Force, like anybody could.
But you can't.
Yeah, right.
You have to have. If you're Force sensitive, that means you have a high midi-chlorian count. Now, everybody sounds like they have midi-chlorians, but I guess there's a different level, right? I mean, Anakin has over 20,000.
Yeah,
Master Yoda doesn't even have that. So. Yeah. I think it was just a way for him to explain how someone is more powerful than the other.
Yeah,
and in the end, if you think about it, in the end, it makes sense when Vader loses his limbs.
Yeah,
because he loses a lot of blood.
Yeah,
the Emperor is then again more powerful than him. Mm-hmm. So Vader can't, really just kind of overpower. I mean, it makes sense.
It adds a more like scientific reasoning.
Sure.
Yeah, like
versus a mystical.
Yeah, and that part is still there.
Yes.
The mystical part is still there.
Yeah, because it doesn't say that they are the Force.
Yeah.
The Force is still that energy shield surrounding all living things. It's just that's the way for the person to connect through the Force is through the midi-chlorians.
Right.
So it doesn't change what the Force is. That's what I was kind of getting to. It doesn't change what the Force is. It just explains how somebody could feel the Force and get into the Force.
Well, that's Keira Knightley again.
That is Keira Knightley again, which looks like Natalie Portman to me. But
a
a
little pig.
Yeah. So coming to ask for the Gungans for help.
Yeah.
Because they can't fight the fight on their own.
Right. There you go. Now that to tell if Boss Nass there is happy or not, he'll just shake his face a lot and spit all over the place. Kill her.
Who is this?
Huh? What? You're ruining it. Stop. We almost had him. They're like, I knew it the whole time.
Now, do you feel like... I mean, I think she's doing what she's told, but, she seems very monotone.
And when she's talking as Queen Amidala.
As Queen Amidala.
And I saw when she was on Inside the Actor's Studio, she even said like they in the computer slowed her voice down. a little bit, like so, like it's lower the pitch, in a way. So it sounded more authoritative, I guess, more demanding or commanding, I guess is the word. Yeah, it's very. I am Queen Amidala. This is my handmaiden. Oh, that's almost like Anakin Skywalker grown up. Actually, sorry. Yeah, I was like, yeah, Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Try to take her from me.
Now, he doesn't even look like a Gungan. You know that?
Yeah, who is this guy?
I mean, is he like an older Gungan? I don't get it.
That's what happens to him? Like,
Does not look like this other Gungans.
Like,
I mean,
snout or
I don't know.
Maybe that's why he's the king. I don't know. Gosh, Darth Maul. You just
presence.
look at him the whole time. He's that cool.
Yeah.
Can you see out of that?
Now, see the way he's moving and talking, like it does clearly look like Emperor Palpatine. You know, like from Episode 6. So you definitely do go that way. Even though you may or may not know that it's him or not, but yeah. Now they're strategizing.
Is this the army? Just like three little cars.
That's all that's left, I guess. That's
great.
why they need the Gungans.
Fantastic. So yeah, Boss Nass here promoting him to Bombay General. What the heck?
I mean, like Jar Jar has offsetted eyes. He has, it's like it's almost like a completely different species.
Yeah.
But
maybe
he's
there's
a Gungan.
another species in the Gungan city. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. But he's a Gungan. It looks like. Looks more like just a frog.
Yeah. Exactly.
Trailer. This is a battle I do not think we can win.
The battle's divergent. What?
Yeah.
Diversion, sorry.
Yeah, the Gungans, they're all going to die.
Yeah.
But we're going to be okay.
Yeah. It's just, they're just bait.
Yeah.
Boss Nass is there. He's listening to all this. He's like, oh, wait a minute.
We're going to do our part. We're going to be extinct.
Yeah.
But
your little talk convinced me that we will die for you. That's all it took. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll lay down my life for this little girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just send the Jedi in there.
I mean, we're really about to kick. I mean,
yeah.
This whole movie's built up to this. I mean, basically, it's a three-way battle.
Yeah.
Going on. Lightsaber battle, air battle, ground battle.
And yeah, it's just, that's common for Star Wars, I think. Just have those multiple.
Not like Return of Jedi. It was the first time we kind of got the multiple.
Yeah, the dogfight
the battle.
and the thing. Yeah, because episode 4 was just that dogfight,
trench run,
just a trench run, and 5
Empire. That was just the lightsaber battle.
The lightsaber battle, and also the just them escaping from Bespin.
Yeah.
But this one, those 3 fights. Episode 2, you had the Dooku and the Clone Army fight, and then episode 3 had the Battle Heroes.
Yeah,
which was awesome.
Luke, Anakin, and Obi-Wan.
Yep.
That's I can't. I love watching that. I can watch that over and over too.
Man.
But
here you
first ever shot in the teaser trailer, right there. The Gungans coming out of the fog.
Yeah,
I remember seeing that. Like, whoa!
Was the music the same music, or was it? Yeah.
Then him walking out, and then it was every generation has a beginning.
Yeah.
Every journey has a first step. Every sequel has a prequel.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
That's ours.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember the third one was. Every saga has a beginning.
Yeah.
So I think it's every journey has a first. Every chapter has a first step. No, shoot.
It's
I
okay.
can't remember now. I know every journey has a first step, and
Yeah.
every saga has a beginning. Was the last line. But
I thought that's a cool shot. I love
that's
that,
trailer too.
Because it looks. Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah, awesome.
I think it was like Burger King or some fast food chain marketed a lot.
I think it was Burger King.
Yeah.
But that was the first shot of the trailer. Was that those
Yeah.
ships coming over the
Right? I remember
the
that.
horizon of the of the grass.
I'm sure they can see that, people.
Yeah,
You're not that secret. I'm taking this little child into a battle with me. Why is he shaking? He's like, yeah, sure.
It's a little cold out there.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Boom.
Dunzo.
Yeah.
And out in the open. There you go.
So now the battle begins.
Just like, if I was the Jedi, I'd just start pushing away.
See,
He's just...
like, why do you have to do a little twist and turn there? You know, it's like...
It's fancy.
Yeah, it's fancy, I guess. Learning. Yeah. Now, is that a screen?
Yeah.
Look out the window.
I think it looks like a little digital...
It looks like a screen, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. And if I just got hit point blank in the face with the blaster right there.
Now, that was completely... I don't know if everybody knows. That was completely 80-yard. To get to your ships.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Because in the trailer, it sounded a lot more natural.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In the trailer, it sounds... completely natural, but that one...
That was like that was that Queen Amidala kind of voice, too.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, watching a lot of these Star Wars movies, though, I mean, a lot of the lines are ADR. You can always tell a little bit, at least.
Well...
There's the scream.
Yeah, and people don't... I don't think people realize, too, yet. A lot of...
Just movies.
The original trilogy was ADR'd.
I didn't know... I mean, I didn't even know how much, because, like, the cantina scene, like... A lot of those actors are British actors, but the voices are like American voices. So like after seeing some of the raw footage, some of the special features. So,
but I remember Palpatine, or not Palpatine, Ian McDermott.
Yes,
I think when we were at Celebration when he started an interview with him, I really think that I remember him talking about how he would work on the movie for months and then go back for like additional month of ADRing.
Yeah.
Redoing dialogue and just doing the dialogue that they never even worried about getting on set. So,
right,
which is a good way. I mean, if you got the actors that are able to do it, as far as
I was
be able to kind of bring back that emotion from the set, then ADR is the way to go.
I like ADR.
Clean audio. Yeah. There's nothing like clean audio. You can. Bad audio is like the easiest thing to spot.
I'm a media teacher in high school, and that's the one thing I always tell my students about. I always
like that looks real. That looks so real to me.
Yeah, and especially when they raise up and symbol themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're ready. Like this is just a slaughter.
Versus the
it just looks like a slaughter.
Yeah.
These guys are just chilling.
Activate the droids. Yeah.
Yeah, this was part of a commercial for I remember it being a trailer there.
Yeah.
Especially when the head races up.
Yep, right there.
Yeah. This music reminds me a lot of like Hook kind of thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's John Williams, but yeah.
Now, why would you? I don't know. I was thinking, why would you make a shield where you can just walk through it?
Yeah.
You would think.
Oh well,
like
that's it.
Off.
Yeah, that's
I guess.
It just forces them to get close, like, which is more dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh. Why don't they have a gun? Just get a gun and it'd be over. They're wasting. They're hitting.
Yeah. So the ground battle has definitely started. Jar Jar still being Jar Jar.
Look at all that firepower. How are they not dying?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that was off.
What?
His lines are a little off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Stay in that cockpit. This is awesome. Trailer.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, like all of these shot like that. Like
like that shot.
Pulling out the sabers.
Sabers.
What? Although I still feel like it should have been easier to fight him because it's like you're still two guys against one. I agree. But it's Darth Maul. He's just that good, I guess. Oh, no.
Plus it's the dark side. You know? I mean, it's stronger. Apparently.
No, it's just seductive.
Well,
more power. Just
that's right.
Seductive and something like that.
Easier to. Yes. Yes.
The colors are so beautiful.
Here, I'll jump over him.
Yeah.
Get him from the back.
Yeah. So cool.
So awesome.
So awesome.
But yeah, destroyer droids, man, they are tough.
Yeah.
You cannot Force field. I mean, how cool is that to come up with that though? A destroyer droid with a force field in the
roll
front.
around.
Now, people often wondered. I think I've read a lot. People complain about. Well, if there's a shield there in front of them, how are they able to shoot
Through it?
Well,
Is
if
it
you
poke
notice,
out?
yeah, the guns are outside of the short force field when they go. A lot of people were questioning that, but it's official.
Aha! I gotcha.
I gotcha.
No,
how did it do that? There's no way it can do that. It would just bounce around in there.
I don't believe this movie for a second. I'm done. Oh, you're missing horribly. It was your one job.
Right?
What are you doing? He was caught.
He got one out of all those that came out there. I think one got shot.
It's just he's the nephew of the commander.
Oh, I'm gonna do a little jump there.
Yeah, I love that.
That was
Just
awesome.
point to it.
Yes.
You go there and it goes. So cool. Yeah, and the close up here when he like hits the sabers and like he grins there. That's a good shot.
Love that shot.
Music,
right
come on. Doesn't get any better than this. Like what does this? Yeah, wait. Oh, here you come. Cool close ups.
Close up. Trailer.
Yeah, all this.
Trailer.
Yeah. So does he like block him there? I guess right.
He blocked that one.
Yeah,
and then he blocks
like this
both
right
of
here.
them right there. He blocked both of them right there.
That's a good shot.
Yeah.
Oh geez. Oh snap. Oh. This is the worst.
Do they have grenades in Star Wars?
Oh, then the games they do.
Yeah. Why don't they just throw a grenade down there and
They don't
just
have
blow
one.
up those battle droids? You know.
They're missing a grenade. Yeah, Battlefront. There's all kinds of grenades. That's the Old Republic.
Now, you want to talk about echoes?
Yeah. Oh, like this whole.
Well,
fight.
Luke destroying the Death Star.
Yeah.
Him destroying the.
Oh yeah.
The droid controls ship. I mean, it's very very similar. From episode 1 to episode 4. I'm sure everybody kind of knows this too, but like the number of words per episode is the same.
Oh, the 3. Phantom,
A New Hope,
Phantom
The Phantom Menace,
yeah.
Attack of the Clones, The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, Attack. Oh, that one's. If you
4.
count the articles, Attack of the Clones,
Attack of the Clones,
The
Empire Strikes Back,
The Empire,
Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Jedi.
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith.
When we get to a little teaser, when we get to episode 6, like I kind of have a problem now with the title.
Wait, you say episode 6?
Yes.
Return of the Jedi?
Yeah,
because they're not returned.
Because now that we know episode 7's coming out.
Well, I mean,
there's no return of the Jedi.
I think it. I mean, to me, it means like they're starting to return. Like with Luke, he is a Jedi, so it's. I mean, it's not like a full-fledged return, but I think he tries to bring him back because of Shattered Empire number 4. I think he's supposed to try to bring it back. I haven't read it yet.
I have read it. I actually have to read the end again because I kind of was dozing off.
Yeah.
So I don't remember, but I was surprised to see Luke in
it,
which is good. But I do have it already, so we can get into that. But I still kind of question it. Like Return of the Jedi. Okay, well, something happened because they didn't return.
They didn't return fully,
but they returned for the movie.
I guess
if you just think it's just the movie, he becomes a Jedi.
Yeah.
The Jedi return. Okay.
Yeah.
But what did you? So going real back to this, what did you think of the title of this movie? But not when you were a kid, but what now being understanding of the movies,
like what the title means.
I mean, you think it's a good title? Do you like the title? Phantom Menace?
Yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed the titles. It's not like explicit. It's not like you wouldn't call it the blockade or whoever. Some title it's like very obvious. Like, okay, this is what it means. Like, I always thought the Phantom Menace. It's very. I don't know. It's a.
That would hurt.
Heavy. Yeah, it would hurt. It's very. I don't know what do you call it. Like a meaningful title, or it's a very thematic title. I guess you can call it. Like the Phantom Menace. Because I guess refers to the rise of the Sith in a way. Refers to these guys.
I think the Phantom Menace. Yeah, refers to Sidious.
Sidious. Yeah, these guys.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just
the Phantom. Like who is pulling the strings of all this stuff.
But I've always. I could never. I don't think come up with a good Star Wars title. I just feel like those are so well thought out, and thematically, and they're just I don't know.
Yeah,
very good. But the Phantom Menace, it's gotta get it back. And like talking about Force Awakens at first, kind of like that's a little on the nose. I feel like the Force Awakens, but I love it now. I'm totally behind it.
Oh yeah, totally.
Whew, he almost died.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people. I think a lot, at least what I saw, I remember seeing in forums and stuff whenever these movies came out that a lot of people were a little turned off by the Phantom Menace.
Yeah,
especially Attack of the Clones. People were freaking out over that. I remember people were like, "That was the worst title ever," and it
like
probably is the worst
little
title.
on the nose. Yeah, because it's little on the nose.
But you know, I mean, what else are you gonna call that?
The Clone Wars, or like
Fear of the Clones or something.
Yeah,
You know, fear.
yeah.
I don't know. You know, it's like the clones attack in the
the
movie.
Clone Wars begin or something like that. Yeah,
yeah. I guess you could.
It's all kind of on the nose though. It's
Yeah.
all like obvious or whatever you want to call it.
But again, he was echoing.
Yeah,
You know, like menace and hope, attack and strike, return, revenge. You know, it's like he was. He. You know, they're thought out. They're definitely thought out titles. You know, and
absolutely.
He wanted to. I speak like I've been hanging out with George, and this is what he's told me.
he said, "Man, we were hanging out."
And I watched pretty much every interview he's done. So
cards.
That's I feel like I know George.
Yeah. Jorge.
Oh, that's it. Have you listened to that David Collins interview yet?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah. He does a good George impression.
Yes,
and a good Filoni impression.
You were there, right? We were in that room. Weren't you with me in that room?
I didn't interview him. No, what do you mean?
No, I'm talking about when George happened to show up in the Clone Wars thing.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, we talked about that story.
He did a good job.
And how he was like, about how he thanked him and all that.
You did a good job. Good job there. I can't even do it.
I know, right?
But his Filoni, though, is perfect.
It's perfect.
Because he really does do that kind of...
Oh, man. His Filoni was awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, sidetracked a little
bit. Good stuff. Go listen to it.
Go listen to it. David Collins, yeah. David W. Collins. I always was not confused, but a little weirded out by those droids, those vulture droids. Yeah, being able to fly and just
they're a robot. Basically.
They are basically, yeah.
Which, I didn't really catch on to that until episode 3, to be quite honest, when they were like covering Grievous' ship.
That's right. And they just kind of took off.
Yeah, they're kind of like looking around, like, oh, okay.
Yep. So because at some point didn't one of the heads like pop up and look around while it's flying?
So is it like I guess we can profile later eventually, but are they operated? Like, do they have robots in them?
No,
I guess not. Like in Battlefront, like Battlefront 2, you go inside of a vulture drone.
Oh, really?
That's EU technically. So, oh gosh, no music, perfect.
This is the best. One of the best
fight
things.
scenes with no music, or sometimes the best.
A little bit of music.
There's a little bit of music, yeah. But it's
right
so
here,
subtle.
Not. Yeah, right here, not.
But to me, it's so much better. Like Harry Potter, there's a great fight scene like that. It's just you focus more on it.
I don't even know how you would use that staff. That's that's.
I feel like I just do this a lot.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Again, very echoing of episode 1.
Yes.
Episode 4.
He's so mad. He's just.
And I love this part. And I love this part where George says, like, I wanted this. Like he's a lion.
Yes.
Pacing.
Oh yeah.
Back and forth.
Always even the books.
The predator going after the prey.
Yeah. Even in the books, they describe Maul as an animal of the force. Like he's just raw, force power inside.
Of course, everybody should know the homage on the back of the droid, right? It actually says 1138 on the back of the droid.
Yeah.
Did you ever notice that?
I'm sure I've heard that. Yeah.
See those little letters right there. They're kind of designed, and it says 1138.
Illuminati. Oh, what?
What? She's a decoy.
Yeah. You mean decoy?
Decoy. Yeah.
No.
Not
a
decoy.
A decoy. No. Decoy. Decoy. What? Forget it. Just forget it.
Yeah.
Dead. You shot him in the shoulder. Yeah, there's not that much kickback in that gun there.
Not just that, but like all those times they had to turn around, the droids couldn't get one shot into anybody.
Swinging around.
I always feel like the droids were the ones that trained the stormtroopers
yeah.
because they can't shoot.
Yeah. Oh, I like how he's like getting ready for it. He's just kind of bouncing.
This
so
is
fast.
freaking incredible.
That right there.
The choreograph of this thing.
Yeah. So fast.
Trailer.
Yeah.
Oh man, you can't say anything much about this besides just how awesome.
Oh, right.
But how? Truly, I will make this argument that. I mean, Obi-Wan is very powerful, and he doesn't ever get the credit.
Right.
Like, he may be the most powerful Jedi. I mean, who else? No one has survived longer.
True. I mean, he has lost, but yeah, he survived. He's survived and he's won more. He's so good. He's so wise and.
I mean, he killed Maul.
Yeah.
He practically killed Anakin.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
pretty much beat him.
Who was the most powerful Jedi at the time?
He beat him.
I
mean, Dooku that couple times there, but I mean.
Dooku did get to him a little bit.
Count that.
Dooku, although Dooku technically was rumored like to be one of the most powerful Jedi as well. I mean, very powerful.
Right.
He
beat Anakin too. That first time at least.
That's another thing. I hope that they maybe hit on. Did they hit on that in the Clone Wars? Like the reason really he
left,
turned into the dark side.
Yeah, I remember somewhere. Yeah, they talked about
in the Clone Wars.
I think so. I don't want to say it was a book, but maybe it was. I'm pretty sure it was a Clone Wars.
I had somewhere in the Clone Wars. Yeah,
he just. Oh yeah,
we didn't get it. Is that Rick Aldi?
Yeah.
Okay, that's Rick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's my uncle.
It's hard to see. The goggles are throw you off a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, he looked like he got hit there.
Yeah,
and he's dead.
Bravo. This is Bravo Squadron, right?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, they're all dead. He's killed so many people.
Yeah. He just murdered everybody.
The Skywalker family is a family of mass murderers.
Yes. Luke and his Death Star count. Yeah. I mean,
millions of lives, Luke. How do you sleep at night?
See it? 1138 right there?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, right there.
They're not looking.
Yeah.
We did everything.
We didn't do anything, but lose half our species.
Yeah. We're a danger now.
Now this is actually pretty. I just don't see how Maul could have just simply put his lightsaber out.
Oh hey,
and just watch him get cut in half.
Yeah.
So
I think he's about to come up, or just push him down, just like Whoa! What?
Wow! I'm just gonna watch you land.
I was so cool. I was so amazed. No, I'm dead.
But don't worry, folks.
Yeah.
He doesn't die.
He's not. No, at the very bottom of that.
He doesn't die.
Yeah. Because it cauterized the wound, and so he doesn't bleed out.
Yeah. So he got new mechanical legs.
Yeah.
And he's still alive. I think we're not done seeing Darth Maul. I think we're not done seeing.
Come on.
Maybe Rebels. Yeah, for sure.
You must train the.
Because in the last we got a comic of him,
right?
Which would have been season 6 of the Clone Wars, but
yes,
it was a different kind of arc. Train him. He's saying train him.
What did I just say? Train him. Okay, repeat it to me. What did I say? Oh, so sad.
Very sad.
Yeah, I didn't want him to die.
Now, did you notice this? I was always weirded out by this. Like how big that dang ship is.
Where am I
compared to those buildings.
Where am I
you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it is huge.
Yeah. Make sure you land right, or you kill someone's,
that's massive
business or whatever. These guys. You're going to jail.
You can get your trade federation trade license. Goodbye.
And you just walk off. All right. Yeah. Actually,
that's the last line Panaka ever says, right, in Star Wars. Yeah.
You kiss your career goodbye because you said no to episode 2. So there you go.
Right.
But really, these Viceroy and Nuke Gunner, they're actually okay though. They didn't seem like they're okay in episode 2 and 3. Dooku kind of like rescues.
Well, he
them.
wants to. No, he wants. Remember, he wants Padme's head.
Yeah, but they don't go to jail or whatever. Anything like that. They just kind of.
They don't. They get freed out. Yeah, they get freed. Because he's got an agenda,
Yeah. Those royal guards.
I thought that was like the blue royal guards.
Yeah.
instead of the red. So now in the theatrical version, that's
always digital.
A digital Yoda right there.
Yeah, I think that's even the original one from the theatrical.
Yeah, except that
Yes.
that wasn't, obviously that was puppet.
So I remember seeing that. I was like, that's not a puppet Yoda.
That's right.
That was,
God, that looks so good.
Yeah.
Look at that.
yeah. I've always loved how they do his ears. Like it.
Yeah, it still shakes.
It shakes a little bit. When it
Yeah,
moves,
just like the
and
movie. It's just
you
like
see- you
the
see
puppet.
the light through it and all that. Like it's really good.
This is a very good historic scene out of Star Wars right there. Talking about training Anakin. But Yoda, yeah, looks great. So happy they replaced him. That's a must.
Some crazy work.
And I don't know if I should say it, but I was about to
Say
say,
it,
like,
man.
I wouldn't. I love starting controversy. That's why.
Yeah, there you go.
But I wouldn't
Controversy.
mind. It wouldn't bother me if they put a digital Yoda in the original trilogy.
Yeah, man. Oh, man.
I mean, it
Fighting
wouldn't
words.
bother me.
Yeah.
It would not bother me.
I could probably live with it too.
Because-
but it's so good though.
I know it's
It is
good.
But yeah, I agree. No, I agree.
But there's times, to be honest, there's times when you're watching Return or Empire, and Yoda's just standing there. He can't move.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
He's
Like,
just- yeah, little robotronic.
but there's times where he is moving very well, like, when he's crawling around in the camp and,
Right.
and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I mean, it's pretty good stuff.
I
But
was watching a body burn.
look at that
right now.
shot there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that shot. I need to get a screenshot of that Mason Yoda right there.
Yeah.
Mace has obviously become one of my favorites too.
Oh, yeah.
I'd kill to see a Sam Jackson movie, Mace
Ooh,
Windu
man.
movie.
Yeah.
I hope
That
he's
does
not
look a little
too
older.
too older now, but
Gain some weight, a little older. Clearly, it says right there.
totally,
That's yeah.
absolutely. I agree with you, and honestly, I didn't catch that the first time.
Neither did I. Probably
It took me about 5 or 6 viewings that I was like,
yeah.
wait a minute, I think you're giving it away, George.
Yeah.
You're giving it
Pretty
away.
much. Well, I don't know if he expected people to be surprised by it. To be
Probably
honest.
not.
I think they would focus more on the tragedy, the dramatic irony of Anakin's story. Like, what's going to happen, and it's just you don't want it to, but it does.
But I guess you're assuming that everybody has seen the original trilogy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Everybody's seen it. But
Well, yeah.
it's Star
No, not
Wars.
really.
Yeah.
I mean, not
Yeah.
everybody, but yeah,
George is
majority
like,
of people.
yeah.
Sure.
Jar Jar.
Now
Good music.
that's Kanan's master right there.
That was
Kanan's. That's
yeah.
Kanan's.
Balaba or Pilo. Is that her name? She has a weird name.
Yeah, she does have a weird name, but that is
Cool.
Kanan's master.
That's awesome.
Yeah, who gets wiped out by the clones.
Yeah. So the little ball.
Did
that
you
gives
see? Did you
static
see
hair.
Clone Wars last night?
I missed. I wasn't. Yeah.
You gotta see
Pretty
that.
cool, though.
It's
Yeah.
one of the best episodes ever.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Of Rebels. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I got to smile
Yeah. And this echoes. This is ceremony.
exactly the way
New
the
Hope.
first one ends with a party,
Denzo.
getting some awards out there.
Written and directed by George Lucas.
Yeah.
McCollum. Well,
So, all right.
first commentary. Down.
Done. First
Nailed
commentary, episode 1. Phantom Menace. Hope you kind of got something out of it as far
Yeah.
as like our stuff that we liked, didn't like.
Yeah.
I mean, there's, overall, let's go ahead and do this again. I know we did it every times.
Yeah.
Let's rank it. Where does it
Okay.
sit
Gosh,
in your
honestly, I always
top
forget.
6 of the Star Wars movies?
I gotta just write this down because we always go into this, but yeah,
Yeah. I mean, for me,
I feel like you've written this down. I'm sure you have.
well, I haven't kind of memorized how,
yeah,
in my mind, but what they are. But I honestly, I put this at number 4 for me.
yeah, 4.
I put this at number 4.
That's pretty good. That's
I
close-
really,
that's close to
I
me.
really like this movie. I think it kicked off the original trilogy or the prequel trilogy really good. There's great elements in it with Mace and Yoda in the temple, the Jedi temple, or Jedi Council. You got Darth Maul. You got great scenes with Anakin, or not Anakin, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. I just feel like there's, and again, like I'm a fan of. I'm not a politician by any means, but I'm a fan of the politics of Star Wars.
Right.
Like it interests me to know how you run a galaxy as far as the government goes, and how difficult that is, and the Senate was. It's just yes, there's some downsides to it. Like there's a part right there from basically after the pod racings up until the end of it, where there's nothing but dialogue.
Right.
Just a lot of dialogue. In Coruscant, there's nothing going on except whether or not he's getting trained and how Padme's going to get help. So, but I love it. I love this movie. Number 4 for me.
I mean, yeah, I guess it is kind of a toss-up between I could either have it in my 4th place or 5th place. Right now, I think it's my 5th place, but sometimes it just changes.
We can change as we go.
Yeah, it changes every now and then. But like usually my top 3 are pretty static.
Yeah,
but,
I definitely got those.
But like, yeah, this is one right now. I feel like it's my 5th favorite. It's not that I don't hate it at all. Really, I mean, this flaws with the prequels, of course, but as all the movies have some sort of flaw at some point. But this is still my 5th favorite one, so not my least favorite, but still it's pretty good. I loved it as a kid. I absolutely loved it as a kid, but I like the other ones better.
Yeah. All right, guys, so we'll wrap this up. We are Inside the Force. Go to InsideTheForce.com to hopefully get and listen to all the other commentaries of the movies. If you're watching this after we've done them all, we're in the process of doing them right now. So go check it out there. This is, if you're watching this, keep at it there on your YouTube channel at 21 Network. Our Inside the Force playlist there with the videos that we're supporting our podcast. Of course, as soon as we get a Blu-ray of episode 7, we will do a commentary
Holy cow, yes.
of episode 7.
Yes.
Yes, we will. God, when will that land? That'll be about 3 or 4 months after the movie.
Yeah,
comes
it
out,
will.
probably
About May.
Although it may be in the theater still.
Oh my gosh, that's true. Yeah, well, that's kind of like Avatar was like that.
Yeah. So, actually, that'd be crazy. It might be in the theater still when Batman Superman comes out.
Watch it still be number 1,
right? In March.
Take that.
That's March, right?
March, yeah.
Yeah. So
take that.
I don't know. We'll see. But again, we're getting stoked for episode 7, so we're doing some commentaries, looking back on the Star Wars movies. We will continue our next. We're just going in order, so our next one will be episode 2. That'll be out pretty soon. If it might be already out already. So, all right. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Inside the Force.
Yep.
No quote this time. I guess,
no,
right?
I won't do a quote for these. That's all right.
Yeah,
just watch the movie. There's quotes all over the place. Yeah.
So again, I hope you've kind of followed along with us and give us your takes on the comments below, and have a good one. I was trying to kind of wait this out. These credits are really long.
Yeah.
I guess we should keep. I mean,
that's all good.
You gotta
read these names, people.
You gotta stay through the credits.
Yeah. Look,
I mean,
Tunisia, Italy. They shot in Italy.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's to me as filmmakers,
Yeah.
It's out of respect to me anyway. I usually try not to leave the theater during the credits because, not the fact that you're looking for a credit sequence,
right.
but it's really a tribute to the people, all the thousands of people that work on it.
Yeah, it's some avid
stuff.
film composer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice part of it.
Yeah. Airy Media.
There you go. Aries, you got that?
Read the novel from Del Rey.
You got that Airy Alexas there. It's all the rage.
THX.
That weird little
stuff,
symbol right there, Motion Picture Association of America.
Wait, the characters are fictitious?
It's not in space. Space, it's real. It happened. It says so at the very beginning of the movie.
This is like based on a true story.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Inspired by historical events.
In a galaxy far, far
away.
On. Yeah, come on. That's I think they're just joking.
Now it's done. Movie's done. Nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, that's it. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Check us out. InsideTheForce.com. Have a good one, everybody. He's Casey Cooley.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm David Cottingham, and may the Force be with you.
This has been a production of the 21 Network. For more great podcasts, visit 21network.com. To view additional content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/21network. Follow us on Twitter at 21network for the latest news and updates. The 21 Network, for the fan and all of us.